Would throw here. Stands back near his own end zone. Fires it out, and Gorkhuber's got it. He's out past the 30, 40, midfield, down to the 40. He could go all the way. Oh my goodness. This is 7 scoring run for Elk River. Now here's Mason Witt driving his layup. Helsher looking to attack, then it comes out to Riley Byer. Spin move off to Helsher. She'll shoot the 3 and score.
Take the kick here.
Yeah, I think that's
or is that
Patrick Klecker.
Oh, that's Klecker. Okay,
yep,
sorry.
and his shot got deflected, and the follow-up is gone. State brings you the instant replay. And Alexandria is on the board here in minute number 66. The Alexandria Cardinals. She works her way in front here. And again, going into the locker room, it is 30-6 in favor of Alexandria. This for a berth in the Class 5A state football tournament. Now here is a pitch. Snidey gets it. He'll go down in the backfield. Oh. Yeah,
I would outscore the Tech Tigers.
Yeah, that's right. And so the Cardinals will get the second and third place. And it looks like in lane number 2, I think Victoria Davidson is our videographer tonight. And Steve D is our KXRA radio studio engineer. Now a muscle attempt, and now a turnover and a goal. And the Cardinals are maintain control of the punt, but it's going to be taken here by Wyzetta. Centering attempt into the slot area gets broken up. Emily Doherty trying to skate out with it, but now Russo has it. She'll fire, save made, and
have to be very, very legitimate or intentional with their puck play.
Now Madeline Lewis is battling Brecklin Ellingson, and here's a shot and a...
By 9 runs. Good jump. And this one's right side down the line. That's going to be in for a third. He'll make it in with a sliding triple. 2 more runs.
Week is done. St. Michael-Albertville's baseball team will have a second meeting this year with Alexandria. The Knights traveled to Alexandria and won the earlier matchup by a score of 9-5. That was back in April. St. Michael-Albertville is 15-9 on the season. Alexandria 13-10 after the dramatic comeback from 2 runs down in the last at bat, plating 3 in the bottom of the 7th inning for a 5-4 walk-off victory for the Cardinals to have the opportunity to come to St. Michael today to play the top-seeded Knights. The Knights were beaten on this turf against Moorhead by a 6-3 score last Thursday. Hence, Moorhead joins Monticello as the 2 teams that are undefeated in this double elimination tournament. Those teams will be playing about 9 miles to the west-northwest of here up in Monticello, and the winner of that game will need only 1 more victory this week to capture the Class 4A Section 8 title. Moorhead's trying to make it back-to-back section championships after the Spuds represented this section at state a year ago. Welcome to our Juettner Motors pregame shows. We come to you from St. Michael, Minnesota. D-Mac, Dave McClurg, joined by my broadcast partner, JP Boline. And JP, it's great to be connecting with you once again. Hopefully the Alexandria Cardinal baseball team will keep us quite busy and occupied throughout the course of the week because, again, the Alexandria Cardinals are in a must-win scenario.
Yeah, and it's nowhere that they haven't been this season. I mean, they just need to keep winning and getting things done and doing what they need to do. You know, get the bats going and get the fielding right. And I think they showed a little bit of that on Thursday, and I think they just got to keep that going here today. They've already played at St. Michael-Albertville once this season, so they know kind of what to expect. So does STMA, though.
It is interesting, and I can share some notes with you as we get into the program today. St. Michael-Albertville, that 15-9 record, they've actually fared well away from home. In fact, I believe their road record is slightly better than what they've accomplished at home. I know that Moorhead came down here and won late in the regular season. Bemidji won on this field at St. Michael-Albertville. So for some reason, the Knights have not defended their home turf as well as they would have liked. But still, everybody's fresh. You don't have to worry about any pitch limitations outside of your starter for either side in today's game, and it should be fun. It would be great to see Alexandria go 2 for 2 when faced with elimination.
Absolutely, but you got to do the little things right, and Alexandria showed the ability to do that throughout the season, but you got to get hot here today.
We look forward to bringing you the play-by-play. Again, it's a 4:30 varsity start with Alexandria and St. Michael-Albertville battling to stay alive in this Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. The Knights are the number 1 seed, Alexandria seeded number 6. In fact, all of the top 6 seeded teams are still alive in this section tournament. Big thanks to Juettner Motors for being the presenting sponsor of our pregame show. Thanks as well to our other boosters of Alexandria Cardinal sports programming, helping to bring you our broadcast today from the campus of St. Michael-Albertville High School. Steve D is the main man at Master Control, our KXRA radio studio engineer. Now we're going to take our first break during the Juettner Motors pregame. When we return to St. Michael, you'll hear my conversation with the head coach of the Alexandria Cardinal baseball team. Jake Munch joins us after this timeout.
Who do you turn to if you or a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis? We're here. Region 4 South Mobile Crisis Team will come to you by calling 701-364-0431.
Enjoy life at the lake and work for a growing company that offers rewarding careers and cares about your well-being. Agard. We build cool machines and are hiring for multiple positions across the organization. Plus, no-cost health benefits for you and your family.
Get great service at Alexandria Motors. Serving your family for generations and generations to come. Stop in for a great deal on your next vehicle. Alexandria Motors. One low price, plain and simple, always.
Hi, I'm Dr. Emma.
And I'm Dr. AJ. We're the dentists at the Alexandria Dental Clinic, where advanced care meets a family-first approach.
From cosmetic dentistry and Invisalign to restorative work and pediatric care.
Alexandria Dental Clinic, your smile's new best friend.
At ALP Utilities, we're proud to be a community-owned public power and water utility. That means local decisions, reliable service, and reinvesting in Alexandria. From classrooms to sidelines, we're proud to be a part of the moments that bring our community together.
There is a man, an insurance man, located in the birthplace of America, where he is committed to helping you find the best coverage for your needs.
Welcome. I'm Keith. When you think of insurance, think of Bill Marks, where we do the shopping for you.
Juettner Motors, your best price dealer. Make it Juettner Motors, your best price dealer.
Carlson Music Center, downtown Alexandria. Yamaha pianos and new and used equipment. Lessons and instruction. Learn from the best. Piano and voice to guitar and violin. Carlson Music Center for all your musical needs in Alexandria.
Jake, I know obviously we don't get to talk before a Tuesday afternoon game unless your guys take care of business up at Canute on Thursday. I tell you, a really exciting baseball game. I hope the fans were just as thrilled about seeing it as I'm sure the players were being involved in it. But, it seems like in some ways your team did a lot of the things that we talked about ahead of the game. Get some more people on base, get an early lead. But yet the game still had its share of twists and turns. I mean, how thrilled were you with what you saw after coming away from the park that night?
Yeah, I'm just tremendously proud of our team. Anybody who was at that game saw that, we kind of saw a little bit of what we've been dealing with when it comes to a lack of scoring runs. That first inning, we had runners on second and third with no outs and couldn't come up with a run there to take an early lead, and that was pretty frustrating. But our boys hit the ball hard around the park and just unfortunately right at those players. So eventually those balls have to fall. And when St. Cloud went up that extra run there going into the last inning, it would have been really easy for our kids to roll over and die there. But what I really want to give them a lot of credit for is we took an approach at the plate that last inning where basically what we say is the first pitch is yours, but after that the pitcher has to earn it. So if the pitcher throws a ball, then we're taking until we get a strike. And we saw how effective that was that last inning because we scored 3 runs, we hit 1 ball in play and bunted another. And that's how we won that game, simply by making the pitcher have to earn everything. And sometimes that stuff works out and sometimes it doesn't, but you play the strategy of the game, and for us it worked that night. But it was more of a great defensive plays from our team, coming up with the bunt when we needed it there at the end, very good base running, and ended up with a much deserved win that our team really needed after playing some really good baseball and coming out on the losing end. So here we are. We're down here at St. Michael. We get an opportunity to play the #1 seed and send them home, and I can't think of a better situation than that for us to be in and walk out here with the win, and confident we're going to play well and just excited to get it rolling here.
I know that as that game unfolded, your team yielded the lead in the middle innings. I think St. Cloud scored a couple of unearned runs in the 4th, 5th inning, something like that. I don't have my sheet in front of me here, but Bo Jones came on to relieve your starter Griffin Wimmer in the 6th inning, and he got 2 outs while stranding 2 St. Cloud base runners. Obviously, he gives up 2 runs in the 7th and ultimately gets credit for the victory on the hill, but how important was it to get a hold, if you will, in the 6th inning, preventing St. Cloud from getting further distance?
Yeah, the huge play of that inning that's kind of forgotten about is the incredible catch that Griffin Wimmer made in right field. Sprinting in and diving and catching that ball. He doesn't catch that ball, they score another run, and who knows what happens after that. But his play was a pivotal moment of the game to keep it a 4-2 lead and give us an opportunity there in that last inning. So there's a tremendous amount of credit to go around to a lot of players that game. The small things that they did correctly that nobody wants to talk about or praise, that we were very well noticed as a coaching staff and a team and made sure we addressed those things at the end of the game. But it was truly a collective team win. We used a lot of players in different scenarios, and we executed what we needed to often throughout the game, and we ended up winning, which was even better, of course.
I know that when I visited with you on Thursday prior to the game, you were hoping that the bats would come alive. I think you made mention that, we were hoping to get maybe 10 hits. I think it was somewhere around 6 or 7 for the game, but yet your guys did show some pretty good discipline, not only in the bottom of the 7th inning, but in other parts of the game, because I believe the Crush issued 5 or 6 walks. I know one was an intentional, but that means a number of unintentional walks, so it kind of fueled traffic on the base paths for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, obviously the more numbers you can put up on the scoreboard when it comes to hits, your statistic chance of scoring gets higher. But what we looked at that game was quality at bats. I mean, anybody was there. We had countless opportunities where we hit line drives right at players that prevented runs from scoring. There was a pivotal moment where we had runners on 2nd and 3rd. Connor Anderson drills a line drive up the middle, and the second baseman leaps and makes an incredible catch to end the inning. So yes, we didn't get maybe as many hits as we want, but I was really impressed with the quality of bats that our players had. We hit the ball hard all game long. Just unfortunately, we have to get it to where 9 guys aren't, and that's what happened that game, and you can't fault anybody for that.
As you go into the bottom of the 7th inning, St. Cloud had just taken the lead, but as you pointed out, a great catch by Griffin Wimmer prevents it from becoming 5-2 or 6-2. What was the message that you relayed to your players, and what was their mood at that point of the game?
Yeah, generally the mood was really positive. I mean, upbeat, tenacity, so a lot of grit being just displayed in the dugout, and it goes back to what we talked about when we started, buying into the approach. And the approach was, first pitch is yours. If he throws you a ball, we're taking until we get a strike. You don't want to take away an opportunity for that player to swing at a good fastball first pitch. But it's also discipline of the players of trusting the message of what we're trying to accomplish. And when things work out like that, it shows how effective it can be. If we don't have that approach at the plate, maybe guys are swinging at the first pitch or second pitch on the bat and we ground out, and we don't ever get that chance to put those runners on base. So I'm tremendously proud of the kids for executing it, doing what we work on a lot, and it showed how it can be effective in that game. So overall, generally positive mood, understood the mentality, and we went and executed it.
Ultimately, the game would end on a suicide squeeze play. I don't know if that could have been executed more perfectly than it was. Are you able to share your thoughts on, first of all, when the thought process came in about when to execute that, and then, what you saw at Landon putting the ball in play as he did?
There's definitely two different perspectives. There's a coaching perspective and the fan perspective of observing the game. Generally, you're not wanting to do a suicide squeeze with bases loaded because there's a lot of things that can go wrong there. Obviously, it went perfectly, so we look like geniuses as a team by getting that run down and scoring. But if we pop that ball up, there's potential for a triple play, right? That ends the inning too, which could possibly happen. I think the most important factor of calling that play was they had a left-handed pitcher on the mound. He was very slow to the plate, and if anybody observes Nolan Johnson was halfway down the line before that pitcher even released that ball. So as long as that bunt got down, we were going to beat that force out at home, and then making sure that Landon knows he has to hustle down and touch first base to complete the play. It's really easy for those players to forget that that's part of it, but executed perfectly from a base running standpoint, to Landon getting the right pitch to do it, and obviously taking the sign and not missing that. So is it a high risk play? Definitely was. We had 3 opportunities to score the run with outs, so we figured we'd give it a shot, and it worked out in our favor.
We are getting together here with Jake Munch, the head coach of the Alexandria Cardinal baseball team, for our Alamere Health Coaches Comments feature. On the way, as we get closer to the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour, we'll have high school baseball from St. Michael-Albertville. The Knights host Alexandria in another elimination game in the Class 4A Section 8 tournament. And Jake, obviously the 4 teams that are playing in the elimination part here, Bemidji, Alexandria, Elk River, and St. Michael-Albertville, very quality teams. When you saw some of the other results, especially from the winners bracket, did anything surprise you on Thursday?
No, it really didn't. I've been saying it from the beginning of this, that every team in the section is a pretty high-quality baseball team, and anybody can beat anybody on any given day, and that's just baseball in general. But, St. Michael, there's no secret. They're a very, very good baseball team. They are a perennial in the state of Minnesota when it comes to quality baseball. But in our section, you also have a lot of other good teams. Like Moorhead's obviously very solid and took care of St. Michael the other night. Monticello's very good, but it's just a matter of who doesn't make those mistakes. Even in our game the other night, we made very, very few mistakes, but every mistake we made ended up in them scoring runs, and that's what high-quality baseball produces. But, tonight here, we have nothing to lose. We're playing the number 1 seed. We're playing at their park. We're coming in with a tremendous amount of confidence. We have arguably our number 1 pitcher going on the mound. We have some momentum going, and we're hoping we get St. Michael on maybe a little bit of a downtrend here. But when we played them in Alexandria, it was a good baseball game. They scored a lot more runs than we did, but we didn't play poorly. I'm just excited to face them again.
Yeah, I believe that game in April up in Alexandria was 9-5 for the St. Michael-Albertville Knights. Was it a situation where they had some quality at bats to produce some, multiple run innings? What do you recall from that game?
I just recall timely hitting for them. They like to run the bases. It doesn't matter if we have a left-hander or right-hander on the mound. They're going to move and force our catcher to make plays, which we expect coming into this. Just top 1 through 9. They're just a very good baseball team. And we competed with them up there. We're going to compete with them today. And I think we're a very good baseball team. So I'm hoping just for a really, really solid baseball game today, and hopefully we're going to Cold Spring tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the reward for the winner of this game, is that you get to continue on in the elimination bracket at Springers Park. You were sharing with me, Jake, that last summer the Legion baseball team had the chance to play in the state tournament on this field. What do you recall about those experiences? Because obviously a lot of the guys that played ball last summer are part of this high school team here in the spring.
Yeah. Now we got to play a couple of games down here, specifically in this park. We lost to Grand Rapids, came back and beat Hutchinson, and then had to face Shakopee. And Shakopee won the state tournament last year in high school ball and was highly ranked in the national polls of Legion baseball, and we hung with them until the very last inning of the game. So it just goes to show you that intimidation works in baseball, but at the end of the day, you have to get out on the field and make the plays. Baseball is special in the sense that physical ability, what I mean by that is like your physical size doesn't dramatically affect the game as much as it does in other sports. If you were sitting here today looking at St. Michael, they're physically bigger than we are. They're just a really, really, they're dudes over there. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to hit the ball just like we are, and they're going to have to make the plays. But it's just it's a special thing to be played in the postseason and continue to play to give ourselves an opportunity to keep this rolling. It's a great group of kids we have in our dugout, and tremendously proud of every one of them, no matter what happens today. I just hope that they put their best product on the field and show everybody what they're really about.
Ultimately, Jake, what do you feel are going to be the biggest keys for success for the Alexandria Cardinals today?
Yeah, it's going to start with Landon throwing strikes. He's done that all year long. We talked about that down in Elk River. I expect the same out of him. You know, he faced St. Michael when we were in Alexandria when they beat us, so I'm sure he's a little amped up to get another opportunity. And kind of the same thing we've talked about for the last 2 months as offense. We have to take advantage of opportunities. We have runners on base, execute our small ball when we need to. Just basically almost play perfect in sense to to win and put pressure on them, but very confident. I think that we're going to have a really nice day here at the park.
Excellent. Jake, best wishes to you and the Alexandria Cardinal baseball team. I've appreciated the opportunity to follow your kids throughout the spring season. Let's hope it continues for a little while longer this week. Have a great game today.
Appreciate you being here. Thanks, Dave.
That is the head coach of the Alexandria Cardinal baseball team, Jake Munch. Our special guest is part of our Alamere Health Coaches Comments feature during our pregame show.
And we extend our appreciation to Juettner Motors in Alexandria for being the presenting sponsor of our pregame show. The folks at Juettner Motors will be sponsoring our postgame report coming up after the play-by-play. It's Alexandria at 13-10 on the year versus St. Michael-Albertville at 15-9. Both of these teams are 1-1 in the double elimination Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. Now on our platforms, including Layton Media, KXRA Radio, and the Voice of Alexandria YouTube channel, let's enjoy these words from our boosters of Cardinal sports coverage.
I'm a nurse at heart. I mean, I went into this to take care of other people.
What we say as nurses and as teammates matters here.
Come on over, you'll love it. You will get to experience so many things and help many people.
Casa Jalisco. Take a trip south of the border to a place where you can savor the flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine. Casa Jalisco offers a true taste of Mexico without the airfare. Casa Jalisco, your Mexican getaway in downtown Alexandria.
Where you start today is not where you'll finish tomorrow. At Alexandria College, we know you have big plans for the future. Find your calling and be a legend.
Cardinals fans, did you know that Cenex Midtown Express has a gas pump designated to support Alexandria Public Schools? For each gallon purchased, 2 cents will be donated to the schools. Pump up your pride at Cenex, your local hometown choice in Alexandria and Garfield. Owned by the community, supporting the community.
Hi, Carl Qualley with Qualley Real Estate. Our business approach is based on what we call the 4 E's: experience, expertise, ethics, and energy. Qualities that led us to be voted Best Real Estate Company 3 years in a row. Find your real estate coach at Qualley Real Estate, where we protect your money.
Being locally owned here at the Culvers of Alexandria, Charles Johnson and myself, John Loomis, are very proud to be a part of the community. We enjoy the time we get to spend here, the memories we've made, and we're excited to see you after the game when you need to refuel.
Go Cardinals!
A broken tooth? Fixed in one appointment? Yes, we do that at Dental Health Associates with our CIRAC crowns. We'll fix your tooth in one appointment, which means less time off work, less time away from your family, and more convenience for you. You're in and out in one visit.
Better water starts with EcoWater. Get started today and discover EcoWater's products and expertise for the perfect solution. Visit WeFixWaterMN.com with offices in Alexandria, Fergus Falls, Glenwood, and Morris.
From St. Michael-Albertville High School, Alexandria Cardinal baseball is on the air as the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament continues. This is an elimination bracket quarterfinal game between 6th-seeded Alexandria and top-seeded St. Michael-Albertville. We'll introduce the batting order and the starting lineups momentarily as the public address announcer here in St. Michael is already introducing St. Michael-Albertville's batting order. The pitching matchup today will include Braden George on the hill for the St. Michael-Albertville Knights. He'll be opposed by Alexandria senior left-hander Landon Guess-Norling. Again, the full batting order will be coming up in just a couple of moments. Our national anthem is straight ahead, and that's being brought to you as a service of Carlson Music Center in Alexandria. For any and all of your music needs, including scheduling of voice lessons for your sons or daughters, You can visit with Carlson Music Center in downtown Alexandria. Of course, you can go online to carlsonmusiccenter.com. carlsonmusiccenter.com. Again, our thanks to Carlson Music Center in Alexandria for being the presenting sponsor of our national anthem. And now, the Star Spangled Banner. Again, we thank Carlson Music Center in Alexandria for being the presenting sponsor of the national anthem during our play-by-play broadcasts all throughout the 2025-26 school year. Alamere Health is your presenting sponsor of the lineups, including the batting orders during the spring season. Alexandria will lead off with left fielder Ty Miller. Center fielder Connor Anderson will bat second. He'll be followed by the shortstop Brody Adelman. The cleanup batter for the Cardinals is designated hitter Nolan Johnson. He'll be DHing today for the second baseman Nolan Fettig. Right fielder Griffin Wimmer will bat fifth for the Cardinals. He'll be followed by the first baseman Evan Zabel. Batting seventh and doing the pitching today, Landon Gass-Norling. Batting eighth, the third baseman Easton Klemick. And rounding out the batting order for the Cardinals today, the catcher Sam Wiseman. Jake Munch is the head coach of the Alexandria baseball team. Paul Shum and Jesse Hackenmiller are the co-head coaches of the St. Michael-Albertville Knights. And here's the Knights batting order that will face Landon Gass-Norling today. Cale Johnson, the right fielder, will lead off. Third baseman Ryan Kurth hits second. He'll be followed by the shortstop Talon Sines. The cleanup batter for the Knights is the second baseman Tatter Herring. Batting fifth, the first baseman Quincy Standall. Batting sixth, the center fielder Grady Johnson. Batting seventh, the Knights left fielder Ashton Crank. Batting eighth, the designated hitter Wyatt Lawrence. He'll DH today for the starting pitcher Braden George. And rounding out the St. Michael-Albertville batting order today is the catcher Palmer Steinmetz. St. Michael-Albertville comes into this playoff game at 15-9 on the year. As you are watching our YouTube broadcast today, again, you are seeing an image behind the chain link fence in front of the field of play. St. Michael-Albertville school colors are royal blue and gold. The Knights are wearing the white jersey tops with the blue pinstripes, white pants with the blue pinstripes, blue numerals on both the front and the back of the uniform, and the letters STMA in royal blue with the gold outline. Alexandria wearing the black jersey tops, white pants with the red piping, red numerals on both the front and the back of the Alexandria uniform with the white outline, as the first pitch to Ty Miller is delivered from Braden George, and it is a strike as we get our game underway at 29 minutes after 4 o'clock. So very close to being right on time. George with the next pitch, and that will sail out of the strike zone, so it's a count of 1-1. The Alexandria players with the black button-down jersey tops with the word Alex on the front of the uniform. Ty Miller, one of a number of left-handed bats in the Alexandria lineup. He offered at a pitch for a strike. Off-speed delivery from George, and the count is 1-2. Connor Anderson is going to bat next, and then Brody Adelman will follow here in the first inning. Pitch on the way, and that's high and away, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. St. Michael-Albertville getting the #1 seed. Plays its regular season as part of the Lake Conference, where the Knights went 8-6 this year. Alexandria went 7-3 in the Central Lakes Conference. Here's a pop-up out into shallow left field, and going out is the Knights shortstop, Talon Signs, to make the catch, and there is 1 away.
It's good to get contact early, too. You know, get to see the ball a little bit there and feel it on the bats, but good at bat to start the game.
So 1 out, and the center fielder, Connor Anderson, will step in for the Cardinals. Keys to the game driven by Alexandria Motors. Together, let's drive with Alexandria Motors. For the Alexandria Cardinals, again, great energy and focus, similar to what they brought to the field against the St. Cloud Crush on Thursday, and obviously getting off to an early lead. I don't think Alexandria wants to be chasing in a deficit against the #1 seed, playing on St. Michael-Albertville's home field. Connor Anderson takes the strike. Next pitch is, I believe, off the helmet of Connor Anderson, and he's going to make the trip to first base. So with that, a hit by pitch, Connor Anderson becomes the Cardinals' first base runner of the game.
Thank goodness for helmets, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. Durable helmet there protected Connor Anderson from a pretty nasty beaning there. So now Brody Adelman has the chance to bat with a runner on base. St. Michael-Albertville is a team that can put some runs on the board, and that's going to be one of the keys for Paul Schum and Jesse Hackenmiller's team, is to generate some offense. Again, Coach Munch for Alexandria mentioned that St. Michael-Albertville had some very good at-bats in their win up in Alexandria back in April. First pitch from Braden George to Adelman is in the dirt, and that results in a wild pitch, moving Connor Anderson into scoring position. So that's where he is with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Just underway in our Class 4A Section 8 elimination game at St. Michael-Albertville High School. Braden George is a right-hander for St. Michael-Albertville. Works out of the stretch with the base runner on, and he delivers a pitch for a strike.
And Alexandria has now got an early runner in scoring position. They got handed a free base. I guess it's not really free when you take a ball off the head, but you know, he got on base, and you know, he just got to take advantage of the mistakes that St. Michael-Albertville made.
And the count now 1-1, and then we've got a pitch that's going to be beaten foul off to the left of home plate. Brody Adelman had a base hit as part of that instrumental 3-run rally in the bottom of the 7th inning last Thursday against St. Cloud, where the Cardinals overcame a 4-2 deficit and converted it into a 5-4 walk-off win. Landon Guest Norling was the other player that had a base hit in that 3-run rally. 1-2 the count to Brody Anderson. Next pitch, and that may have hit him on the wrist. And it looks like, we're going to have a conversation here to see. Brody Adelman was kind of leaning away, and I think the plate umpire wants to talk with the base umpire to determine whether or not any part of the ball hit the bat. And if it did, it would be ruled a foul ball. But nope, it's going to be hit by pitch after the consultation with the base umpire. So that's back-to-back batters that have been hit by Braden George here. And the Cardinals have a first inning threat, first and second, and only 1 out with designated hitter Nolan Johnson coming to the plate.
Yeah, a couple of free bases with the exception of maybe some bruises, but a good job here by Alexandria just to take those. And you got threats now early with 1 out.
Yeah, you look at it, both of those players who have been hit by pitches, that's a free base. And then when Connor Anderson goes to second on a wild pitch, in essence, that becomes a free base, although he has not moved since the Brody Adelman hit by pitch. But first and second now for Nolan Johnson. Braden George delivers the first offering, and it's swung on and missed. Johnson, the designated hitter today for Alexandria's second baseman, Nolan Fettig. Game time temperature around 83 here in the St. Michael area, right on the northeast edge of Wright County. 0-1 to Nolan Johnson. Next pitch fouled off, and the count quickly goes to 0-2. Alexandria would like to take advantage of an early scoring opportunity to get on top of the number 1 seed. The Knights are 1-1 on this turf in the postseason, defeating Brainerd a week ago today 13-5, but losing to Moorhead 6-3. Both of those games were played here in St. Michael. 0-2 to Nolan Johnson as George kicks and deals. A pitch that's going to be bounced out to second, flipped to the shortstop covering second, then the throw to first is in time. It's going to be a 4-6-3 double play started by the second baseman Tyler Herring on to Talon Signs. His relay throw to first to Quincy Standall is able to double up Nolan Johnson, and Alexandria's first inning threat goes by the boards. No runs for the Cardinals, no hits. No St. Michael-Albertville errors. There were 2 hit batsmen and 1 runner left on base. Glenwood State Bank brings you our scoreboard updates in prep baseball in the Class 4A Section 8 tournament. And through 1/2 inning, it's Alexandria 0, St. Michael-Albertville coming to bat.
A successful win isn't about the score. It's about what you put into the game. If a successful win matters to you on the purchase or sale of your property, hard work matters to me. Todd Whiting, Century 21, 766-2200.
Fresh, family, locally loved. Eldon's Fresh Foods. It's the right time for a getaway. It's the right time for a getaway. Let's get away.
When you come to Fat Daddy's Bar and Grill, you can count on great food, over 30 beers on tap, and a creative drink menu.
Come join us today at Fat Daddy's Bar and Grill in Alexandria.
Good service, good friends, and a great place to eat.
Welcome to our live broadcast coverage of prep baseball in the Class 4A Section 8 tournament. Along with JP Boline, I am D-Mac Dave McClurg. Steve D is our main man at Master Control at KXRA Radio in downtown Alexandria, doing the engineering for the radio coverage today. Landon Gass-Norling, the left-hander for Alexandria, taking his warm-up tosses. He'll face Cale Johnson, Ryan Kurth, and Talon Signs in the last of the first inning, with Alexandria and St. Michael-Albertville both scoreless. This is one of 3 games going on in the section simultaneously. The other elimination game is over across the Mississippi River up in Elk River, where the Elks are facing Bemidji. The team that loses that game is done for the high school season. The 2 teams guaranteed to be playing later this week in Cold Spring are matching up right now in Monticello. That's the winner's bracket semifinal between the 2nd-seeded Monticello Magic and the 4th-seeded Moorhead Spuds. Cale Johnson steps in, and it's a lefty-lefty matchup. And the first pitch out of the strike zone for ball 1.
Big thing here for Landon Gass-Norling, just do what he does best, which is throw strikes, make his defense work. And Alexandria's defense has been good all year. The playoffs have been a little on and off, but making them work, and I think they can come through.
Gass-Norling does deliver a strike here to even the count out at 1-1. The windup by Alexandria's left-hander. Next pitch on the way, and it's going to be bounced foul at the plate. So a ball and 2 strikes now to Cale Johnson. Nice crowd on hand. Many of the St. Michael-Albertville fans gathered in the backstop area just behind home plate. Many of the Alexandria fans joining us along the first base / right field line. 1-2 to Johnson. Next pitch sails high. That evens the count out at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. The count to Cale Johnson. Next pitch on the way, and this one's going to be grounded to the right side. Second baseman Nolan Fettig makes the play. His throw to first is good for the out. So the Cardinals get the leadoff batter, and there's one away.
Had some papers go flying there, D-Mac.
Oh, very good. I was wondering, you were giving me a hand signal, so I was
make sure which one was my Nike.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah, we have the traditional setup today. You've got the one on the left, and I've got the one on the right. I'm positioned to the right of you today, so I guess I'm right-leaning, and you're left-leaning today. Ryan Kurth, the batter now, and he swings. No contact, though, and it's one strike. Again, both of these teams are seeking to keep their seasons going. There is no more tomorrow if you have a loss today in St. Michael. Next offering fouled back, and it's a count of 0-2. St. Michael-Albertville was the runner-up in this section to the Moorhead Spuds last spring. And the Knights historically have done very, very well coming through the elimination bracket. I'm sure they did not want to be in this spot this early in the section tournament. Again, if you're one of the 4 teams playing in the elimination bracket today, in order to play at CHS Field in St. Paul toward the end of next week, you need to win 5 consecutive games this week. If you're either Monticello or Moorhead, if you lose today, you have to win 3 more games in the next 2 days. That's a little more manageable than 5 games in 3 days. And obviously, if you win that game in Monticello today, then you need just 1 win in Cold Spring on Thursday to capture the section title. Here is a ground ball, and that's going to be fair down the left field line. Extra bases as Ryan Kurth is going into second. It'll be relayed back in by the Cardinals left fielder Ty Miller, and it's a 1-out double for Kurth, and St. Michael-Albertville has a base runner in scoring position.
Yeah, I think we're just seeing what STMA can do. I mean, they got some speed and some good bats as well. So an early threat similar to what Alexandria had, a runner on second with 1 out.
Yep, and this will be just 1 runner on base at the moment with Talon Signs coming to the plate. Sam Wiseman is doing the catching for the Cardinals today. Around the infield, Evan Zabel is at first base defensively. Nolan Fettig at second. Brody Adelman, the shortstop. And over at third base is Easton Klemick. Your outfield defense has Ty Miller in left field, Connor Anderson in center field, and Griffin Wimmer is in right field. First pitch to Signs a ball. 1-0 the count. Next offering is in for a strike. Leave the count now even at 1-1. So aces wild here in the bottom of the first. 1 out, 1 on, and a count of 1-1 to the batter, shortstop Talon Signs. Here's the next offering, and that is in for a strike. Good location there on that landing Guest-Norling pitch. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan Kurth is the base runner. He is at second with 1 away. No score as we play the bottom of the first inning. Out of the stretch, Guest-Norling's next delivery is a little bit upstairs. That evens the count out at 2-2.
It's a good pitch right there. I mean, going upstairs trying to get a swing and miss, but not making it in a dangerous spot. So a good pitch there from Guest-Norling.
This is Landon's second postseason start here in 2026. Took the tough luck loss up in Elk River last week. Now he delivers high, and the count is full at 3-2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll let you interject here because I think you and I might have been on the same wavelength there.
Most likely, yeah. That Elk River game, I mean, he pitched really, really well. He gave up, in the middle innings, he gave up a leadoff triple and was 1 out away from working away from that, and just an error in the field avoided that. But other than that, there were really no blunders in the game for him.
Yeah, he would end up going the distance, a 6-inning complete game, as he has just delivered ball 4 here to Signs. So you've got runners at first and second for the cleanup batter, Tyler Herring. Herring, the second baseman for St. Michael-Albertville.
Number 11, Tyler
Coach Munch was not kidding when he joined us during our Juettner Motors pregame show in terms of talking about the bulk on some of these St. Michael-Albertville players. Of course, I'm sure a number of them cross over to different sports. They're not just one-sport athletes playing baseball in the spring. But I'm sure some of them are part of the Knights football team, maybe even playing some hockey or basketball in the winter. Called strike to Herring, and it's 0-1. Force at any base, third, second, or first here. Now we've got a pitch that's going to be lined out into right center field. That's going to be in for a hit. Relayed back in by Griffin Wimmer. Rounding third and coming in to score is Kurth. And now the ball got away, and now the throw to the plate is going to be too late, and a second run's going to come in. 2-0 for St. Michael-Albertville.
Yeah, and that's, just good hitting there from St. Michael, and then just a slight fielding mistake there, adding another run. But, if you're Alexandria, you just got to buckle down and get the next out.
We'll credit Herring with one run batted in on the base hit, scoring Ryan Kurth from second, and then an overthrow over to third base to try to cut down Signs, and that allows the runner Signs to come in from third. So hit and an error, one run batted in, but 2 runs for the Knights. And now Quincy Stendal steps in, takes high for ball 1. Stendal, right-handed batting first baseman for St. Michael-Albertville.
Stands tall there on the right side of the batting box.
Out of the stretch, and now a bluff and throw back to second, and Nolan Fettig took the throw and kind of gave a little shove to Tyler Herring, maybe to see if he could position him off the bag and get the tag out there, but Herring was not budging. He kept a foot on the bag. 1-0 to Quincy Stendal. Now we've got a pitch popped out of play. And it's a ball and a strike.
Early impressions of St. Michael is they don't swing at, or they don't chase much, and they're going to swing at stuff in the strike zone, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be patient. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're not a team that's going to have batters that get themselves out. They'll force you to retire them. 1-1 to Stendal with a runner at second. Next pitch, a little bit upstairs. And it's 2 balls, 1 strike. The home team has jumped on top with a pair here in the last of the first inning. St. Michael-Albertville with a runner in scoring position at second. Landon Guest-Norling working out of the stretch. Next pitch is swung on. This is hit to right field, but it's going to hang up for Griffin Wimmer, and he'll put it away for the second out. So, well struck, but right into the glove of Wimmer, the right fielder, and there are 2 away now for Grady Johnson.
And it was a good job there to get that next out, and now for Landon Guest-Norling, you're 1 out away from getting out of this inning, and a 1 earned run, obviously, but a pretty decent job there.
Yep, and that's the thing that the Cardinals would like to do. Get the third out, get back to the dugout, and swing those bats. Here's a pitch that sails upstairs, and it's 1-0 to Grady Johnson. So each team has some Johnsons in the lineup. Cale Johnson and Grady Johnson for St. Michael-Albertville. Nolan Johnson for Alexandria. Of course, Johnson, like Anderson, very common last names. Here's a pitch that's high and away, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0. St. Michael-Albertville has the lead as we play the bottom of the first inning at St. Michael-Albertville High School. Landon Guest trying to find a way to retire Grady Johnson to keep the deficit at 2 runs here in the first inning. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be on the inside corner for a strike. And it's 2-1. Landon Guest-Norling has walked 1 batter. He's given up 2 hits. Only 1 of the 2 runs that he has yielded to this point is earned. 2-1, and the next pitch on the way, and that is too far inside as Grady Johnson gets plunked. And now we've already had 3 batters hit by pitches, and we have yet to move out of the first inning.
Yeah, that one stung him a little bit there. I think that was either the forearm, or pardon the bicep there, or the side. But yeah, just a little bit too inside, and yeah, it's a weird thing. I haven't seen a whole lot of hit by pitch in the games that we've done, and now we've got 3 in the first inning.
Yeah, let's hopefully that's not a sign of what we might expect over the latter innings of this game. Obviously, you don't want to be yielding free bases by hitting batters. So it looks like Grady Johnson's all right. He's going to make the trip down to first base. So you'll have a first and second situation here for left fielder Ashton Crank. Crank bats right, as do many of his teammates. Only Cale Johnson at the top of the order bats from the left side. St. Michael-Albertville 2, Alexandria no score as we play the bottom of the first inning. First offering from Landon Guest-Norling is in for a strike to Crank. And it's 0-1. The base runners, Tyler Herring is at second, Grady Johnson on at first. Guest-Norling taking a little more time on the hill with the base runners on. Here's the next offering, and that is upstairs. 1-1 the count. Alexandria playing in Class 4A for the first time ever. These teams used to be rivals in the old 3-class format in Section 8 AAA. Now common opponents in Class 4A Section 8. Here's a pitch that sails out of the strike zone, and it's now 2-1 to Ashton Crank. Runners at first and second here in the bottom of the first inning for St. Michael-Albertville. Guest-Norling working out of the stretch. And here's a foul ball off of Crank's bat. And it's now a count of 2-2.
For how long this inning, has been, and obviously St. Michael-Albertville's a couple batters away from batting through, but, if you end with just 2 runs, I think that is a win, especially Alexandria did threat with 2 runners on in the first, so just getting on base when you get the bats back in your hands would be huge.
2-0 for St. Michael-Albertville, bottom of the first, and a 2-2 count to Crank, and it's going to be a pitch that is in for a strike. And that's going to be a called third with the runners going, but it doesn't matter. Crank gets caught looking, and that will be all for the Knights. St. Michael-Albertville gets on the board with 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 Alexandria Cardinals error, and 2 runners were left on board. At the end of 1 inning in this elimination bracket game in the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard, it's St. Michael-Albertville 2, Alexandria 0.
Why do I bank at First Western? Easy. They take care of their customers.
First Western. You can bank on us.
Dentistry at the Center knows all about busy schedules, and that's one of the best things about having 3 dentists. We have more appointment times available, so we can see you sooner. So, for dentist appointments to fit your schedule better, come see the friendly folks at Dentistry at the Center.
When you want your closing to go as smooth as possible, ask for Integrity Title. We may be a bit obsessed about our jobs and the details that go into it, but that's what makes us such a good choice for your real estate closing. Ask for Integrity Title, the title closing geeks.
Hi, I'm Mark Lee from Mark Lee Excavating and Asphalt and Paving. I'm looking for people who have experience and are willing to work hard. For those that do, you can earn up to 6 figures working for my company. Give me a call and visit my website because we're hiring and we want to talk to you about your next career with us.
We welcome you back to St. Michael-Albertville High School and the varsity ball diamond here as the Knights host Alexandria in an elimination bracket game. St. Michael-Albertville able to get 2 on the board in the bottom of the first inning. So it's a 2-0 score. Alexandria will send up hitters 5, 6, and 7 in the order, and Griffin Wimmer will be the leadoff batter. It's almost like the marching cadence here. Left, right, left. 2 left-handed bats sandwiched around Evan Zabel's right-handed plate appearance here. Braden George's first pitch of the second inning is a called strike, and it is 0-1.
If you're Alexandria, I mean, you just got to get on base like you did in the first. You know, there were one ball getting through the infield away from scoring first in this game. So obviously a good double play. Fielded it back in the first to end it, but you know, they got on base and they got runners in scoring position.
Griffin Wimmer falls behind in the count at 0-2 after George drops a curveball in. Now he misses outside, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 to Griffin Wimmer, leading off the second for the Cardinals. And he takes slow, evening the count at 2-2. Alexandria had back-to-back batters reach after getting hit by pitches in the first inning, but the pitcher's best friend, a ground ball double play, got Braden George out of the inning. And now George has missed on 3 straight pitches after getting in front in the count 0-2.
I think if you learn anything out of that first, it's just, you know, be patient with this pitcher. Obviously, you know, he's not hitting his spots early, so we've seen it in this at-bat.
And he misses on ball 4 that goes high. So a base on balls to lead off the second inning for the Alexandria Cardinals. So 3 base runners for Alexandria and no hits to this point. 1 walk and 2 batters hit by pitches. Maybe Evan Zabel is about to deliver the first Cardinal hit of the game here. We'll find out.
He's not shy to, you know, coming up big in moments, so this would be a big chance here to get a hit.
And he takes for a strike from George. It's 0-1. 1 strike here to the right-handed hitting first baseman for the Alexandria Cardinals, Evan Zabel. George out of the stretch, deals a pitch that's grounded left side foul. Got around on that just a little bit, and it is 0-2. JP, I was sharing with you during the commercial break there, you know, maybe Griffin Wimmer was kind of taking a page from St. Michael-Albertville's book. The Knights really made Landon Guess-Norling work in that last half of the first inning.
Yeah, they did not chase really anything. They made him throw strikes, and when they did, they were able to get some hits. But yeah.
And now Evan Zabel has kind of a half swing, and he ended up following through, and he'll strike out on the breaking pitch, and there's 1 away as George gets his first strikeout. Now Landon Guess-Norling will have his first plate appearance here in this postseason game today. First offering is in for a strike. It's 0-1. The home plate umpire is a bit deliberate on his signs, so that's why I'm a little bit deliberate in my calls. 1 strike here to Landon Guess-Norling. Now another pitch, and that's going to hit the strike zone, so it's 0-2. You were mentioning earlier that Braden George seemed to be having some issues finding the strike zone, and the JP jinx might have got triggered there.
Yeah, right after I said that, he did give a walk, but then now 4 straight strikes and did deliver a ball there. But yeah, he's found his rhythm a little bit.
Yep, 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Landon Guess-Norling. Easton Klimek is the on-deck hitter for Alexandria here in the top of the second. 2-0 for the host Knights. Next pitch is swung on, and that's lined out to center, but it's going to hang up. Oh my, good swing there, but Grady Johnson hardly had to move as he caught that liner from Landon Guess-Norling. 2 away here in the top of inning number 2.
Yeah, and I think Alexandria is getting a little unlucky with the bats right now too. I mean, you know, hitting into a double play, obviously, but then a nice hit there by Guess-Norling, but right into the center fielder's glove.
So now it's Easton Clemick getting his chance to hit for the first time today with 2 gone. First pitch is low, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Palmer Steinmetz is the catcher for the Knights today. Quincy Standall at first base defensively. Tyler Herring at second. Talon Signs is the shortstop, and the third baseman is Ryan Kurth. 1-0 here to Clemick. Next pitch is going to be bounced to the left side, fielded by the shortstop who throws over to first base. He ended up doing that because the base runner, Griffin Wimmer, was almost at second when the ball was fielded. So 6-3 ground ball put out, and that's all for Alexandria in the second. The Cardinals go with no runs, no hits. No St. Michael-Albertville errors and 1 runner left on. We've completed an inning and a half in this elimination bracket quarterfinal in the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. On the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard, it's St. Michael-Albertville 2, the Alexandria Cardinals, no score.
Life can sometimes feel like you're navigating through construction. You hit a detour, run out of gas, or you're going the wrong way on a one-way street. But Lakeland Mental Health Center is here to help you get back to the right path. Visit lmhc.org. Help today for a better tomorrow.
For over 30 years, Northland Buildings has been providing quality post-frame buildings to customers, serving clients across the upper Midwest since 1994. Northland Buildings. Quality buildings built tough for the Northland.
Northland Building. Ford, Lincoln, Dodge, Chrysler, Ram, Jeep. Make it Juettner Motors your best price dealer. Make it Juettner Motors your best price dealer.
As the seasons change, so do the needs of your car. That's when Alexandria drivers turn to Mike and Josh at Precision Auto. From simple tune-ups to major repairs, trust a pro. Precision Auto on 8th and Nokomis, Alexandria.
We appreciate you joining us today on our Layton Media platforms, including the Voice of Alexandria YouTube channel and on the radio at 1490 AM, 100.3 FM, and 105.7 FM, KXRA Alexandria. Steve D is our KXRA radio studio engineer, and along with JP Boline, this is D-Mac Dave McClurg. Wyatt Lawrence will be the leadoff batter for St. Michael-Albertville in the second, and he skies one to the left side of the infield on the first pitch of the inning, and Brody Adelman, the Cardinal shortstop, will put it away for out number 1.
Yeah, great way to start the inning there after a longer first inning for Gas Norling, and a good way to get a light pop up and get an early first out.
For those of you listening to KXRA Radio, today's 5 o'clock news hour is being preempted because of our live broadcast coverage of high school baseball featuring Alexandria and St. Michael-Albertville in the Class 4A Section 8 tournament. Landing guest Norling delivers a strike to Palmer Steinmetz, and it is 0-1. Steinmetz is the Knights catcher, and he bats 9th in the order. Here's the next pitch, and that's just a little bit inside, evening the count out at 1-1. JP, I was saying during the commercial break we were being gifted a run up on the scoreboard, but I see that's now been taken away.
Yeah, we didn't appreciate it enough.
Yeah, we thought the gesture was good, though. Here's a strike to Palmer Steinmetz, and it's now 1-2. We're in the last of the second inning. Again, it's win or go home for Alexandria and St. Michael-Albertville. Here's the next pitch, and that is on the inside corner for strike 3 call. Steinmetz gets caught looking, and there's the second out here in the last of the second inning. 2 Ks now for Alexandria's senior left-hander Landon Guest Norling, and both have been called third strikes.
Yeah, great start to this inning, too. I mean, I just praise it all the time for this team, but they always seem to bounce back from rougher innings, especially the pitchers, and doing it right now.
Here's a strike to Cale Johnson, and it's 0-1. Johnson started the bottom of the first inning by grounding to second baseman Nolan Fettig. So he's 0-1. Now he bounces a pitch foul, and it's quickly 0-2. The Knights out hitting Alexandria 2-0. The Cardinals have the lone error in the game. Each team has stranded 2 base runners to this point. 2-0, St. Michael-Albertville on top. Here's the next pitch. It sails high from Landon Guest-Norling, and it's 1-2. Cardinals will need to mount a comeback. They were down by 2 against the St. Cloud Crush on Thursday before rallying to win. Here's a pitch that is a little bit upstairs, evening the count out at 2-2.
Yeah, I heard a loud ball call there from the ump, and I thought it was a called strike, but nobody moved.
Yeah, so count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes to Cale Johnson. Next offering, and that one is on the outside corner for strike 3 called. And Landon Guest-Norling gets a couple of called thirds as he sets down the Knights in order, 1-2-3 in the last of the second inning. To the third we go in this elimination bracket game in the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. Your numbers on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard. It's St. Michael-Albertville 2, Alexandria no score.
Life can sometimes feel like you're navigating through.
Hi, this is Bob with the Northside Collision Center. Having your vehicle's collision repair fixed can be a hassle and inconvenient. That's why people call us at Northside Collision Center.
763-3224.
Northside Collision.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles 6 times for a great deal at Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
From your first home to a growing family, life keeps moving. Hi, I'm Sarah Iverson with State Farm Insurance. Every change means something new to protect. Let's start a conversation today about your peace of mind, because like a good neighbor, Sarah Iverson will be there.
Who do you turn to if you or a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis? We're here. Region 4 South Mobile Crisis Team will come to you by calling 701-364-0431.
This is coverage of the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. Win or go home for the Alexandria Cardinals and the St. Michael-Albertville Knights. Right now, the Knights have a 2-0 lead. Top of the third inning, we'll have Sam Wiseman leading things off for Alexandria. Ty Miller and Connor Anderson will follow against Braden George, the right-hander for the St. Michael-Albertville Knights, who's allowed 3 base runners to reach, but so far has kept Alexandria off the scoreboard. First offering is swung on, and this one is hit to left field, and that's going to be a foul ball. He almost hit that one in play, but it's going to be a foul. 1 strike the count.
Yeah, just got out in front of that one barely. That could have been a 2-bagger, though. So a good swing there from Wiseman, though, and get a good feel.
Braden George has struck out 1 batter. He has walked 1 batter. He has hit 2 batters. In fact, 3 Alexandria runners have gotten on base, and none have gotten on by a hit. Here's a called strike to Wiseman, and it's now 0-2. We're in the top of the third inning in a must-win scenario for both Alexandria and St. Michael-Albertville. Here's a swing and a miss. And Sam Wiseman's down on strikes. 1 away here in the third inning. So back we go to the top of the order for the left-handed batting left fielder, Ty Miller. I will say this, it's unfortunate that some of Ty's teammates, notably Jackson Waltzing and Brom Peterson, along with Zach Iverson, are sidelined right now due to getting hurt during the regular season. But I think one of the silver linings of that is the emergence of Ty Miller on the varsity team.
Yeah, and I think he's got a very bright future here on the baseball team in the next couple of years because, yeah, he's shown up and shown that he's got a really good bat and a really good field, too.
And he takes a strike and then kind of had to dance out of the way to avoid getting hit by a pitch. Miller 0 for 1 today as he was retired on a pop to short to start the game. St. Michael-Albertville got its 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Here's an off-speed pitch swung on and missed. Looked like Ty was a little bit out in front in that swing, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, really fooled him there, but 1 and 2 here.
1 out, nobody on base in the third. Next pitch is just a little bit out of the strike zone. I think some of the Knights players over in the third base dugout were thinking, ring him up.
Sounded like it.
Yeah, but the plate umpire did not agree. So it's 2-2. George's next pitch, and that's a little bit outside, so now the count is full at 3-2. Braden George has had 1 3-ball count today, and that was to Griffin Wimmer last inning. Wimmer eventually drew the base on balls. Here's a payoff pitch from George to Miller. And it's swung on, and it's skied down the right field line, but this will bounce foul. So it's still 3 balls, 2 strikes.
It's a good swing on it there from Ty, but just got out in front of that.
Again, this is one of 3 games being played in the section today. The other elimination game being played in Elk River as the Elks are hosting Bemidji. Another 3-2 pitch, and that one swung on, and that's going to be lined out into center, but it's going to hang up, and the catch is going to be made there by Grady Johnson. Now that time, Johnson had to move in a few steps to track it down, so again, ball hit on the button, but right into the glove of a Knights fielder. So 2 away as Braden George has now set down 5 consecutive batters.
Another good swing here from Alexandria as they have been getting base runners. They've been putting the bat on the ball, but just trying to find some empty grass or dirt.
First pitch misses the strike zone to Connor Anderson, and it is 1 ball, no strikes. Anderson was one of 2 Cardinal batters that got hit by a pitch in the first inning. Now an off-speed delivery is in for a strike, evening things at 1-1.
Yeah, he took a ball right in the noggin, but thankfully, hit him in the helmet, and he's all right. But probably a little intimidating after that.
Next pitch from George is going to be swung on, hit to the left side. The third baseman makes the play. Throw is going to be in time as it came across from Ryan Kurth, and Quincy Standall was. I guess that it's ruled a foul ball. So the throw by Kurth did go across, but Connor Anderson not retired at this point. He gets another chance at the plate. So I guess that was wise by Kurth to throw through, but it was ruled foul ball.
Just good practice reps for everybody.
And Connor Anderson was able to show his speed off there.
Yeah.
Now let's hope he'll do it for real as he puts one in play. A ball and 2 strikes. Next offering, a fastball, and it's swung on and missed. So George ends up getting a couple of strikeouts as he sets down Alexandria in order for the first time today. Through 2.5 innings in this elimination bracket game in the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament, your numbers on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard: it's St. Michael-Albertville 2, Alexandria nothing.
The Tradesman Construction has built a rich history as being the premier, most referred, full-service general contractor in the area. They are a proud supporter of all Alexandria Cardinal teams. Find them online at tradesmanconstruction.com.
Getting in and out of the pharmacy is easy with Trum Drug's app, RX Local. Download the app, choose Trum Drug as your pharmacy, use it for medication refills and reminders. Trum Drug, locally owned, locally loved.
I just get a great satisfaction when I hear the relief in a customer's voice that they've been helped. They always feel it's an inconvenience when they call us. It's like, it's never an inconvenience. We love helping our customers.
At Viking Bank, we're invested in your journey.
I see generations who are passionate about what they did. I hope that I can leave a legacy of compassion for people and love for family and friends.
Again, for those of you listening to People Radio KXRA, our 5 o'clock news hour is being preempted today due to our live broadcast coverage of prep baseball from St. Michael as the St. Michael-Albertville Knights host the Alexandria Cardinals. Right now it's 2-0 for the home team as we go to the bottom of the third. Of course, the home team, St. Michael-Albertville. Ryan Kurth takes the strike from Landon Guest-Norling as the bottom of the third inning is now underway. Kurth got the first Knights hit of the game, a double down the left field line in the first inning. He fouls a pitch off so quickly the count goes to 0-2.
Guess Norland had a really good second inning after a long first inning. Went 1-2-3 and struck out 2. So looking for similar results here. He's ahead in the count early.
2 strikes here to third baseman Ryan Kurth, awaiting the next delivery from the Alexandria left-hander, Landon Guess-Norling. Next pitch misses the strike zone, so it's a ball and 2 strikes. Guess-Norling has recorded 3 strikeouts today. 1 walk allowed. He's hit 1 batter. 2 hits allowed. 1 run earned, 1 unearned run. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that sails upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. I've got a little covering. I'm wearing kind of a hat, to shield myself from the sun, but did the plate umpire beller out ball there?
Yeah, and that's where I'm getting a little confused. Some of these two counts.
Now we've got a ball that's bounced to the left side. It'll go foul. Easton Klimek was looking to backhand, but it is ruled a foul ball, so the count's still 2-2.
Yeah, these two strike counts. I mean, he's belting out something, and I think that one was high, and I'm sure the other ones were outside, but it sure sounds like a strikeout call.
So 2-2 to Ryan Kurth, leading off the third for St. Michael-Albertville. It's a 2-0 lead for the Knights. Next pitch sails upstairs, and it is 3-2. To Landon Guess-Norling's credit, he is not allowed a leadoff batter to reach. St. Michael-Albertville got its uprising going in the bottom of the first inning after the leadoff batter was retired. Kurth hits second in the order. Now he swings, and he laces one to the left side foul. So it's still 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Kurth really making Guess-Norling work here to start the inning.
Yep, this is going to require a minimum of 8 pitches in this plate appearance. Here's the payoff, and it's popped in the air. This will go out of play foul right behind the Alexandria dugout. So now a minimum of 9 pitches required. The next pitch that Landon Guess-Norling is set to throw should be his 50th for the game. Again, on full rest, you are allowed up to 115 pitches. And the payoff is swung on, and this is hit out to left field, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. I thought Ty Miller might be having a beat on it, but it does fall in play, and Kurth is now 2 for 2.
Yeah, I do wonder if, maybe he lost it in the sun because the sun is right into his eyes there, or if he just didn't get a good jump on it there, or, it's kind of, we're kind of blocked from that angle there, so maybe it was just dropping really fast. But, a bloop single, you could say, here to lead off the inning for St. Michael.
And the Knights have their 3rd hit today. And now Chris Kopp is going to come out and visit here. And let's see if it's just going to be a strategy session here. Maybe to talk a little bit about the batters coming up. It was hitters 2, 3, and 4 in the order that did some damage in the bottom of the first inning. That's how St. Michael-Albertville was able to accumulate its runs. One scoring on a Tyler Herring base hit out to right center. Second run came in on an error. So it's 2-0 for the Knights. Leadoff batter on first, that's Ryan Kurth. Conference now complete, so Guess-Norling will face Taylor Sines, who drew a walk against the Alexandria lefty in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, I do wonder if Kurth is going to think about, taking off here to second, if that's what the conference was about, trying to get to scoring position.
Yep, and Evan Zabel is holding Kurth on. First offering is swung on, and this is going to be lined out into left field. Base hit, and Kurth will stop at second on the play. So Taylor Sines wasted no time in depositing a base hit into left. And St. Michael-Albertville has a 3rd inning threat going, first and second with nobody out.
Yeah, and Herring coming up here, he did have the RBI single that scored 2, but he, credit for 1 there on the single, but so a dangerous batter coming up here for the Knights.
Yep. Herring is the cleanup hitter in St. Michael-Albertville's order. He would like to be a run producer just like he was the first time up. Landon Gass-Norling working out of the stretch. Bluffs a throw to second, but holds on to the baseball there just to keep that lead base runner Ryan Kurth close. Of course, sometimes for a base runner, it's easier to steal third on a left-hander than it is second, or at least attempt that stolen base. And now a bluff again back to second. Meanwhile, the batter Herring was choking up as if he might try to bunt. So let's see if Sam Wiseman's going to change up some signs here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do try to bunt this, but I mean, this is a batter who did put the ball in play, and there's no outs here in the inning either. So St. Michael, see what they have to do.
Evan Zabel is playing in front of the first base bag, so he might be anticipating a bunt here. Now it is a bunt, and it's going to be fielded by Landon Gass-Norling. Only play is over to first base, and the throw is wide. That's going to go down the right field line. One run scores. Another run's going to come around. Here comes the batter, Herring. He's going to come all the way around to score as the Cardinals are unable to bring the ball back into the infield in a timely manner. And it is now 5-0 for St. Michael-Albertville.
And again, it's just those, those mental errors, just throwing errors in the field that just weren't something Alexandria was doing all season long, but in the playoffs it just seems to be a little bit of a problem. And yeah, that's a one throw that's caused a big inning here for St. Michael-Albertville now.
Yep, and actually, I believe they're going to rule Tyler Herring with the bunt single. I would have gone sacrifice bunt there and then a throwing error. But bunt hit and then a throwing error on Landon Gass-Norling, and all the runners come around to score. And now Quincy Standall hits one to Easton Klimek on the left side. Throw to first is good for the out, and there is the first out in the bottom of the third inning.
Yeah, it's a really good job there after that. Throwing error coming out and getting that quick out. It's gotta feel good.
So one away, and center fielder Grady Johnson will step in.
Now batting, Grady Johnson.
Johnson in the game got hit by a Landon Gass-Norling pitch. And he gets hit, I believe, on the ankle or down near the foot. And so he is going to take one for the team, and that's a one-out base runner here. And now Ashton Crank will step in. Once we wrap up the bottom of the third inning, we'll have our mid-game report presented to you by Eldon's Fresh Foods in Alexandria. Crank in the game got called out on strikes. That was to end the first inning. He bats with one away in the bottom of the third, and St. Michael-Albertville in front by 5. Looking to keep the 2026 season going. First pitch is popped in the air. Foul territory. Klimek is over near the base of the fence, and he almost had a play on it, but he was looking up into the sun. The ball may have ticked his glove, and it's going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, I think he was looking directly into the sun there and had to adjust last minute, and it went right off the thumb of the glove.
So it will be a foul to Crank, and the count is 0-1. We will not charge Easton Klimek with the error. Again, a very difficult play to make over there, especially looking into the sun, and then you're right up against the fence. Now the runner from first is picked off. Throw down to second, and it is in time. So Grady Johnson is out trying to steal. Landon Gass-Norling was able to pick him off, throwing initially over to Evan Zabel, who then stepped inside the first base bag to get a better throwing angle down to Nolan Fettig. And the tag is made. Actually, that's going to be 1-3-6. Brody Adelman getting the put out at second base there. So caught stealing, and there are 2 gone. And now we've got Crank who gets hit. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, they ruled a strike.
Yeah, I think, the bunt was still across, so
Okay.
I believe that was the call because I thought he said foul ball right away, but he pointed at his foot and the bat. So.
Yep, so now the count to Crank is 0-2. St. Michael-Albertville with a 5-run lead as we play the bottom of the third inning. The Knights won the regular season matchup against Alexandria up at Canute Nelson Ballpark 9-5. Now I believe one of the coaches for the Knights coming down to have a few words before the next pitch is delivered to Grady Johnson.
And a really good, couple of plays here from Alexandria after that error that did score 3, just, getting that easy out right away after and then picking off a runner. And it was a group effort there on that pickoff, too, going from, Norley with a good pickoff attempt or a good pickoff move on the mound and then good throw there by.
And now we've got a called third strike, so Crank gets caught looking for the second time today, and that's going to lead us into our mid-game report presented to you by Eldon's Fresh Foods in Alexandria. Right now, the top seed in Class 4A Section 8 is off to a 5-run advantage in a must-win scenario. Tyler Herring has been a pivotal player in each of the plate appearances in which St. Michael-Albertville has scored. He had an RBI single to get the Knights on the board in the bottom of the first inning after Ryan Kurth got on base with a double. Then after a Talon Signs walk, Herring was able to line a single to right center to score Kurth. Signs went first to third and then came in to score on an overthrow back to the infield. And then the Knights used 2 singles, bunt play for a single, and a throwing error, which ultimately led to some unearned runs in the bottom of the third inning. It has not been a Mona Lisa for the visiting Alexandria Cardinals as they're down 5. And right now they've got some plate appearances coming, but they'll need to put together a rally fairly soon to avoid having their high school baseball season end in St. Michael today. 5-0 for St. Michael-Albertville with Alexandria getting set to bat in the 4th. That is your mid-game report presented to you by Eldon's Fresh Foods in Alexandria. We'll have the play-by-play at the top of the 4th inning next. The bad part is on that air.
Fresh, family, locally loved. Eldon's Fresh Foods.
We welcome you back to St. Michael, and to start the top of the 4th inning, Brody Adelman lines a base hit to left field, and he's on board to start the top of the 4th inning for Alexandria as the Cardinals are down 5-0. Adelman has been on base 2 times today. He got hit by a pitch in the first inning, now singles to lead off the 4th.
Yeah, great swing there, and just not waiting there at all, and taking the first pitch he liked, and a great start here in the 4th inning.
And now Nolan Johnson at the plate, and it's a strike on the first pitch from Braden George, the junior right-hander for St. Michael-Albertville. Johnson bounced into a 4-6-3 double play to end the first inning. Here's the next offering, and that is going to be too far inside, and Johnson gets hit by the pitch. Well, there's the old saying, you want to keep the line moving if you start to get an uprising, and Alexandria has 2 runners on board with nobody out for Griffin Wimmer.
And you just have to take advantage of this here. I mean, you got a runner in scoring position again, and if you're Alexandria, you just got to somehow get the runner at least to third base here.
Griffin Wimmer drew a walk in the second inning. First pitch from George, a little bit low. Ball squirted away from the catcher Steinmetz, but didn't go very far away from home plate, so it's 1-0. And really, I know the Cardinals had 2 on with 1 out in the first inning and didn't score, but they're almost at a situation. This has to be an inning where you dent the scoreboard, whether it be 1 run or multiple runs, especially when your first 2 guys get on. Here's a swing and a miss, and it's now 1-1 to Wimmer.
Yeah, you've had runners on here today and just unable to get through, and they've gone through stretches this season at times, as Coach Munch has mentioned quite a few times, just unable to get those key hits. But, your season's on the line here in a couple innings, so there's no time like right now.
Next pitch is swung on, and that's going to be hit out to center, and this one's going back, and it's going to be in play. Rounding third is the lead base runner, Brody Adelman. He's going to come across to score. Griffin Wimmer will get an RBI double out to left center field, and Alexandria's on the board. Now trailing 5-1 here in the fourth inning, and still a threat going with 2 on board and nobody out.
Yeah, great swing there from Wimmer, and he saw something he liked, and he took that one a long ways. It went off the glove with the center fielder there, but a tough angle there. I wouldn't say that was an error by any means. Just a really good swing there from Wimmer, and now Alexandria still with 0 outs, really threatening with second and third.
Yep, St. Michael-Albertville is going to play the infield at normal depth. They'll try to get a ground ball out if it means yielding a run. 5-1, St. Michael-Albertville on top here in the fourth inning. But the Cardinals, who were hitless going into this half inning, now have 2 base hits. Brody Adelman's single and Griffin Wimmer's RBI double. First pitch to Evan Zabel is in for a strike. A bender from George, and it's 0-1. Evan Zabel struck out on 3 pitches in the second inning. Out of the stretch, George's next pitch, swung on and missed. And it quickly goes to 0-2. Evan Zabel, first baseman for Alexandria in today's game, trying to battle back, being behind in the count at 0-2. Here's the next pitch, and that is on the inside corner. Strike 3 is called. And Evan Zabel's out looking for out number 1 here in the fourth inning.
Yeah, just you really want to get this ball in play here, and preferably, obviously, to the right side of the field to try to at least score 1. But if you can put this in the outfield and get a couple, that would give Landon Gatz-Norling a good feeling here going into the fifth.
Yep, he has the opportunity to help his cause out here, and he takes upstairs for ball 1. Gatz-Norling lined out to center field in the second inning, so he struck the ball well, but right into the glove of Grady Johnson, the center fielder. Here's the next pitch, and this one's popped in the air, right side. Second baseman tracking it, and he will make the catch. Not an easy play for Tyler Herring, as again, he's got the shades, but he's looking into the sun. So 2 gone, and what was a promising start at the inning is now threatening to fizzle out.
Yeah, if you're St. Michael, it's exactly what you wanted, a strikeout than a pop-up, but, still an opportunity here, but you got to get this one into the open field.
Easton Clemick will be the batter. 0 for 1 today. He bounced out short to first in the second inning. Runners at second and third with 2 gone. And here's a bouncer left side, fielded by the third baseman. Throw over to first is good for the out. Ryan Kerr throwing across, and Easton Clemick is retired. So Alexandria does get on the board, but the Cardinals have to settle for a single run. A run, 2 hits, no St. Michael-Albertville errors. 2 left on board, both in scoring position. New numbers on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard after 3.5 innings in this elimination bracket game in Class 4A, Section 8. It's the St. Michael-Albertville Knights 5, the Alexandria Cardinals 1.
I'm a nurse at heart. I went into this to take care of other people.
What we say as nurses and as teammates matters here.
Come on over, you'll love it. You will get to experience so many things and help many people.
If you haven't experienced all new Woodies, you're missing out on the best clean in town.
We installed all new equipment and high suction vacuum service,
but kept our personalized touch with our pre-wash and hand drying service.
Get your shine on
at Woody's Car Wash in the heart of downtown Alexandria.
Ford, Lincoln, Dodge, Chrysler, Ram, Jeep, make it Juettner Motors your best price dealer. Make it Juettner Motors your best price dealer.
Who do you turn to if you or a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis? We're here. Region 4 South Mobile Crisis Team will come to you by calling 701-364-0431.
Welcome back to St. Michael as we continue on with Class 4A Section 8 playoff baseball. Alexandria down 5-1 as we go to the last of the fourth inning. Designated hitter Wyatt Lawrence will lead off, and he fouls the first pitch back, and it's 1 strike. Lawrence was retired on a pop to shortstop Brody Adelman in the second. Palmer Steinmetz and Cale Johnson are the scheduled hitters. Now landing guess Norling, the left-hander for the Cardinals, did well against this part of the lineup the first time around. He retired all 3 of those batters. We can hope for the same fate here in the fourth, as St. Michael-Albertville's up by 4 runs. 1-1 now, the count to Lawrence. Pitch on the way, and that's a breaking pitch a little bit off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lawrence is the designated hitter today for the St. Michael-Albertville pitcher, Braden George. Here's the next pitch, and it's popped in the air, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, and Guess Norley, I mean, when he's going, he's looking really good here today. Obviously, it's really just, a matter of throwing area here that scored 3 runs, but just want to get a quick inning and get back with the bats in their hands because they had a pretty decent at-bat.
Now a grounder, and this is going to be into center field. Base hit for Wyatt Lawrence. So St. Michael-Albertville collects its 6th hit of the game and has the leadoff batter on for a second consecutive inning. Now Palmer Steinmetz will be the batter for St. Michael-Albertville. Again, for those of you listening to KXRA Radio, our 5 o'clock news hour is being preempted today due to our live broadcast coverage of Class 4A Section 8 baseball, with Alexandria facing St. Michael-Albertville in the elimination bracket. Right now, the top-seeded Knights lead the 6th-seeded Cardinals 5-1. Steinmetz is 0 for 1, having been called out on strikes. Here's a pitch upstairs, and it's a count of 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. Palmer Steinmetz with his second plate appearance today, as the Knights are completing their second turn through the batting order. Here's the next pitch, and that's upstairs, and it's 2-0. Landon Gass-Norling had one pretty quiet inning in terms of keeping the Knights at bay. That was the second, but he's been pitching in some level of stress in the first, third, and now to start the 4th innings.
Yeah, he's just, St. Michael's just not swinging at anything, not chasing anything. That makes it tough on a pitcher.
Here's a pitch that's in for a strike, and it's 2-1. That last pitch by Landon Gass-Norling, unofficially 65 thrown in the game, and he's got 9 outs in the 65 pitches thrown. 2-1 to Palmer Steinmetz. Then a pitch sails out of the strike zone, and it's 3-1. Landon Gass-Norling has hit only 1 batter. He has hit 1 batter 2 times today, and he has recorded 4 strikeouts. But again, when you strike out batters and you walk batters, that does elevate your pitch count some. Here's the next offering, and that's a healthy cut, but no contact. That fills it out at 3-2.
Yeah, and that's what he's been looking for with those higher fastballs too, just trying to get those swing and misses. And St. Michael just has been so patient, waiting for balls in the strike zone, but a great pitch there by Gass-Norling.
So we'll have a payoff. We'll keep an eye on Wyatt Lawrence over at first base. He's holding, and it's a swing and a miss. So good comeback there by Landon Gass-Norling, falling behind in the count at 2-0, and then later at 3-1, but coming back to get the strikeout. So 1 away here in the Knights' half of the 4th. St. Michael-Albertville leading Alexandria 5-1. And back we go to the top of the order for Cale Johnson.
Guess New Orleans done well against Johnson so far here, or Cale Johnson so far here today. I mean, early out in the first and then a strikeout looking back in the second.
Cale Johnson chokes up and takes ball one. 1-0 the count. It's the second, third, and fourth hitters that have been problematic for Landon Guest-Norling, and they are on the horizon. One or more of those may bat here in the fourth inning. Here's a pop-up, and the ball's caught. And I believe it was almost a dual catch between Easton Klimek and Landon Guest-Norling, and I think Guest-Norling had it, so the bunt not successful there. 2 gone now in the last of the fourth inning.
Kind of too bad that, they get tied up, because over, at first base, Lawrence was kind of on his way. I mean, he would have been a close play if they were able to get the catch and throw right to first, but, a good way to get the second out.
Now Ryan Kurth steps in, owner of a 2-for-2 plate performance today. Throw goes over to first base, and Lawrence back in. The strikeout earlier this half inning by Landon Guest-Norling gives him 5 for the game now. 5 is the number of runs that St. Michael-Albertville has scored. Here's a pitch that sails upstairs, and it's 1-0. Kurth dumped a single into left field last time up, later came in to score. He doubled down the left field line in the first inning and scored the first run of the game. So 2 for 2 with 2 trips crossing home plate. Short lead over at first by Wyatt Lawrence. Next offering is out of the strike zone, and it's 2-0. The winner of this game will be playing at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at Springer's Park in Cold Spring. The opponent will either be Elk River or Bemidji, the team that wins that game that is going on right now in Elk River. Here's a pitch in for a strike. 2-1 the count.
Guess Norland has kind of had to work himself back into counts here in this inning, but he's done a pretty good job at it the last couple.
Yeah, he was behind in the count 2-0 to Palmer Steinmetz before coming back to strike him out. 2-1 the count number here, and a pitch is too far inside. And that's going to allow Ryan Kurth to take first base. So now we've had Landon Guest-Norling issue 3 free bases on hit by pitches today.
That's just not typical, especially of Guest-Norling, but you just don't see a whole lot of hit by pitches, and it just seems like it's been a lot here today. But and this is the part of the lineup where damage has been done for the Knights.
And now the hit by pitch counter, didn't think we'd be doing this ahead of our broadcast today. 3-3.
Wow.
So we've had 6 batters hit by pitches. Again, these are not by design. It's just that some pitches have gone too far in toward the batters, and Kurth has been hit once. Teammate Grady Johnson has been hit twice. Connor Anderson, Nolan Johnson, and Brody Adelman have each been hit by pitches today. Now I think we're going to have a pinch runner for St. Michael-Albertville, and that will be Lucas LaCroix running at second for Wyatt Lawrence. So he is the lead base runner at second, and Ryan Kurth on at first.
Now batting,
Talon Signs steps in now. Walked and scored in the first, singled and scored in the third. So officially he's 1 for 1. First pitch is in for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, this is a very important out if Alexandria, wants that chance to get back into this game. Not saying that they can't score more than 4 runs, but trying to keep this at 4 I think is going to be very important.
0-1 to Signs, batting with 2 on board and 2 out in the bottom of the fourth. St. Michael-Albertville up by 4. Here's another pitch in the strike zone, and it's quickly 0-2. Landon Guest-Norling seems to have shown the ability to bear down here. He knows he's facing a good hitter in Talon Signs. Can Guest-Norling win the battle within this contest? Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's swung on and hit in the air. Out to shallow right field, long run, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. One run's going to come in to score, and it's going to end up being a double for Talon Signs. So he hit down the right field line, and it dropped in play before Griffin Wimmer could make the diving catch. And it's an RBI double, making the score 6-1 for St. Michael-Albertville.
And I would just say, that's an unlucky break there for Alexandria, because that was a difficult play. That was in between first and right field, and even, second base there with Fedig. So just a difficult play for anybody, and just another blooper single here for the Knights that score a run.
Yeah, and in essence, a well-placed hit. A bloop double looks as good as a line drive double from Talon Signs' perspective. So now Tyler Herring will bat. I tell you, in some instances, with first base open, I wouldn't mind, passing him and take your chances on Quincy Standall, who is 0-2, or 0-4-2, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, Herring has hit the ball really well, and then obviously got that bunt, and then scored on the throwing error.
Yeah, he's officially 2 for 2 because his last plate appearance, he was credited with a bunt single and then a throwing error down the right field line. Ended up scoring 3 runs on the play as the Cardinals just could not get the ball back into the infield in fast enough time to prevent Ryan Kurth, Talon Signs, and Tyler Herring all scoring. 5-run lead now for St. Michael-Albertville in the last of the 4th. 1-1 the count here to Herring. Next pitch upstairs, and it's 2 balls and a strike. St. Michael-Albertville in a must-win scenario for the first time in this tournament. Alexandria playing in a must-win game for the second time. The Cardinals are going to need a late rally if they hope to pull this one out. 2-1 to Tyler Herring. Next pitch from Landon Guest-Norling is in for a strike. That'll even things out at 2-2. The base runners are Ryan Kurth at third, Talon Signs at second. Signs just got a bloop double down the right field line to score a run, as Lucas LaCroix was the player that crossed home plate. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Herring, fouled back. So we'll do it again at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's the most pitches that Herring has seen here. He's kind of attacked early in counts, but working this one a little bit.
Yep, he would like to send a knock to the outfield and make it a 7-run lead if he can. He's got that opportunity here in the bottom of the 4th. Out of the stretch, Landon Guest-Norling kicks and deals. Another foul ball off the bat of Herring, so we'll ride along at 2-2. Alexandria scored its lone run in the top of the 4th inning. St. Michael-Albertville has scored in 3 of the 4 innings of batting, so far 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Runners at second and third, 2 gone. Pitch on the way, and this one's outside. So now 3-2 is the count.
Yeah, not a bad idea there, pitching outside, trying to get that swing and miss. That's that elusive one here today from St. Michael-Albertville, especially from Herring. But, that not a threatening pitch there.
So we'll have a payoff with runners at second and third. 3-2 pitch is swung on, and this one's lined out into right center field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Herring's going to take off for second. He'll slide in safely with the double, and St. Michael-Albertville now goes on top by a score of 8-1.
And just a great swing there, and a really good at-bat from a really good baseball player there in Herring. And, obviously Alexandria is going to want to, take back some errors, but the St. Michael has just been hitting really good.
Yep, Tyler Herring now 3 for 3 in this game, and now has a total of 3 runs batted in
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a pitching change, and I think it's going to be Evan Zabel hitting the mound.
Yeah, so that's going to create a scenario, a change in the infield alignment and possibly the outfield alignment as well. So Landon Guess Norling is unable to get out of the fourth inning. He'll go 3 2/3. 8 runs allowed. At this point, 5 of them are earned. He is responsible for the base runner that is on board. We may see Griffin Wimmer coming into the infield and Landon Guess Norling going to the outfield here. So pitching change in the last of the fourth inning allows us to offer good luck wishes to the 9 Alexandria Cardinal track and field athletes that are going to be on campus this coming Thursday. That's the day of the Class AAA track and field preliminaries over at the St. Michael-Albertville High School Stadium. Adrian Miles, a double section champion in the shot put and the discus. He'll be down at state later this week. Micah Kitzman and also one other athlete from the Alexandria boys track and field team coming to the state track and field championships this week. Ellie Homelvig from the Alexandria girls track and field team will be competing in a couple of events. Emma Basson will be competing in the 800-meter run, and she's also part of the 4x8 relay that the Cardinals will bring to state. Class AAA track and field preliminaries are Thursday morning starting at 9 o'clock here in St. Michael. And those that qualify for the finals in Class AAA track and field will be back Saturday afternoon starting at 3:30. So a lot of activity going on the campus here at St. Michael-Albertville High School throughout the week. And as we pointed out, school is not yet out for the summer here at St. Michael-Albertville as regular class was in session earlier in the day today. I believe Landon Guess Norling will be in the outfield.
I think I saw him go into the bench. I think it's Bartoszewski out in center field, and then Wimmer moved to first.
Okay, so, yep, Griffin Wimmer now into the infield. So Mitchell Bartoszewski now in the outfield for Alexandria. So Evan Zabel now takes the hill for the Alexandria Cardinals, getting his warm-up tosses. Of course, we've got... thanks Tim Ernest, by the way. Cole Kronfeld is the 3rd state qualifier from the Alexandria boys track and field team. He'll join Adrian Miles in the discus on the latter part of the week here for the state track and field championships. First batter that Evan Zabel faces is the first baseman Quincy Stendahl. Stendahl 0 for 2 today. First pitch from Zabel is upstairs, and it's 1 ball, no strikes.
We've seen Zabel pitch a couple of times this year. He's done a very good job. Alexandria's pitching crew, all their pitchers have done very good all season long. So I'm just looking for a couple good innings here from Zabel.
Next offering too far inside, and Stendahl is going to get hit by a pitch. So that is the 4th St. Michael-Albertville batter that has been hit by a pitch in this game. So now you've got runners at first and second, and if you're the coaching staff, Paul Shum and Jesse Hackenmiller for the St. Michael-Albertville Knights, now you really want to hit the accelerator. You have the potential of possibly getting a win and not needing the full 7 innings to do it. Grady Johnson has been on base twice, getting hit by pitches. First offering from Evan Zabel has popped in the air, and this will go foul out of play. Tyler Herring is the lead base runner at second. He just doubled in a couple of runs for the Knights. Quincy Stendahl is the base runner at first. STMA has scored 3 times here in the bottom of the 4th inning to open up a 7-run lead. It's 8-1. Pitch a little bit inside, and the count now even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Almost just had another, hit by pitch. Went right behind the pitcher or the batter, but just gotta focus on throwing strikes here and getting out of this inning and trying to get the bats in your hands.
Runners at first and second, 2 gone, 3 in for St. Michael-Albertville. Next pitch from Evan Zabel is a swing and a miss. Looked like Grady Johnson was early on his swing as he was not able to time out that breaking ball from Zabel. And it's now 1-2. Grady Johnson is the 8th Knights batter to come up to the plate here in the 4th inning. Zabel works out of the stretch with the base runners on board. Here's the next pitch, fouled back. And it's still 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place hitters through the St. Michael-Albertville batting order have tormented the Alexandria pitching today. Ryan Kurth, 2 for 2 with a hit by a pitch. Talon Signs, 2 for 2 with a walk. Tyler Herring, 3 for 3. If they were using wood bats, that would be like bringing the lumber company along. 8-1 for the Knights, bottom of the 4th inning. Throw over to second base to try to get the lead runner, and it's going to be wide of Nolan Fettigan into center field. So Tyler Herring will get up and advance to third base.
Yeah, now, it's just watching for the runner there at first to advance to second here on a steal, but I can't imagine that Alexandria would try to throw it down, but.
Yep, 1 and 2. I think the most important thing, especially with a couple of outs in the inning, is try to get the batter out. It's a serious enough situation. You don't want to fall further behind. Now we've got a grounder left side. Easton Klimek able to make the play. Throw over to first is dug out by Griffin Wimmer, and that will retire the side. So the damage is done. St. Michael-Albertville adds to its lead as 3 come across, and we'll head to inning number 5 with new numbers on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard. Through 4, it's now St. Michael-Albertville 8, Alexandria 1.
Join life at the lake and work for a growing company that offers rewarding careers and cares about your well-being. Agard. We build cool machines and are hiring for multiple positions across the organization. Plus, no-cost health benefits for you and your family.
Get great service at Alexandria Motors. Serving your family for generations and generations to come. Stop in for a great deal on your next vehicle. Alexandria Motors. One low price, plain and simple, always.
At ALP Utilities, we're proud to be a community-owned public power and water utility. That means local decisions, reliable service, and reinvesting in Alexandria. From classrooms to sidelines, we're proud to be a part of the moments that bring our community together.
There is a man, an insurance man, located in the birthplace of America, where he is committed to helping you find the best coverage for your needs.
Welcome. I'm Keith. When you think of insurance, think of Bill Marks, where we do the shopping for you.
Welcome back to St. Michael, Minnesota. Along with JP Boline, I am D-Mac Dave McClurg. We appreciate you joining us, whether you're watching today's game on the Voice of Alexandria YouTube channel or listening in to People Radio, KXRA Alexandria, 1490 AM, 100.3 FM, 105.7 FM, audio through the Voice of Alexandria app. It is not good news for the visiting Alexandria Cardinals. They are down by a bunch and running out of at-bats. It is 8-1 for St. Michael-Albertville, and Braden George delivers a strike to Sam Wiseman to lead off the 5th inning. Wiseman 0 for 1 as he struck out swinging. Now he chops one foul left side, and it is 2 strikes. If the Cardinals can find a way to manufacture some rallies and put some crooked numbers on the board and make this a Donnybrook come-from-behind victory, the reward will be to play in Cold Spring tomorrow in the elimination bracket semifinal round. Here's a half swing, and Wiseman almost lined it toward one of the St. Michael-Albertville coaches, and it's still 2 strikes to Wiseman.
Yeah, kind of lucky that he only got a half swing on that because that was going sharp.
George is approaching 60 pitches in the game. The next one will be his 59th. So he's averaging about 14 pitches an inning. He's had a couple of innings where he's thrown exactly 14 pitches, one where he's thrown 15. And then last inning, even though the Cardinals got their first 3 batters on base, he only threw 12 pitches. And now a swing and a miss is going to strike out Wiseman for the opening out of the 5th inning. 5 Ks now for Braden George. Back we go to the top of the order for Ty Miller.
Ty Miller got a hold of one, put it out to center field in his last at-bat. It's a couple of Alexandria where they've gotten a hold of him, but just, hitting right to fielders.
Here's a pitch that elevates high, and it's 1-0 to Ty Miller. Miller 0 for 2 in today's game. He was retired on a pop to short to start the game. Alexandria got its lone run last inning when Griffin Wimmer hit an RBI double. Here's a blooper out to left field, and making a nice running catch away from the infield is the shortstop Talon Signs, and there are 2 gone here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, not a easy play there from Signs, who's had a really nice night, with the bats and making a couple of nice plays in the field too. But that one, running back, staring at the sun, good play there from the Knights shortstop.
And so now with 2 gone and nobody on, Connor Anderson will be the batter for the Cardinals. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. 1 strike here to Connor Anderson, who's officially 0 for 1 today. He struck out last time up. Pitch from George is swung on, and this is skied in the air. Out to left center field. Moving over a few steps is the left fielder, Ashton Crank, and he'll put it away. So a pretty quiet top of the 5th inning as the Alexandria Cardinals go in order, 1-2-3. 4.5 are in the books in this elimination game in the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. On the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard, it's St. Michael-Albertville 8, Alexandria 1.
Casa Jalisco. Take a trip south of the border to a place where you can savor the flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine. Casa Jalisco offers a true taste of Mexico without the airfare. Casa Jalisco, your Mexican getaway in downtown Alexandria.
Where you start today is not where you'll finish tomorrow. At Alexandria College, we know you have big plans for the future. Find your calling and be a legend.
Cardinals fans, did you know that Cenex Midtown Express has a gas pump designated to support Alexandria Public Schools? For each gallon purchased, 2 cents will be donated to the schools. Pump up your pride at Cenex, your local hometown choice in Alexandria and Garfield. Owned by the community, supporting the community.
Hi, Carl Qualley with Qualley Real Estate. Our business approach is based on what we call the 4 E's: experience, expertise, ethics, and energy. Qualities that led us to be voted best real estate company 3 years in a row. Find your real estate coach at Qualley Real Estate, where we protect your money.
Along with JP Boline, this is D-Mac Dave McClurg. Also, let me give a shout out to Steve D, the main man at Master Control at KXRA in downtown Alexandria. Right now, the Alexandria Cardinals have some catching up to do, and they've got to find a way to hold St. Michael-Albertville at bay. If the Knights score 3 runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, the game's going to come to an end. It's 8-1 for St. Michael-Albertville. Ashton Crank, the leadoff batter, and he takes a pitch from Evan Zabel for a strike. It's 0-1.
He's louder for his ball calls than he is for his strikes sometimes.
Yes, we have to look at the hand gestures to detect those strike calls. Crank has been called out on strikes twice in this game. Those came against the starter, Landon Gasnorling. St. Michael-Albertville has put 3 crooked numbers on the board. 2 in the first, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Alexandria, 1 stick. That was in the top of the 4th inning. Here's a foul ball, and the count to Crank is now 1-2. Wyatt Lawrence will bat next, and then Palmer Steinmetz will follow. That's hitters 7, 8, and 9 to to face the reliever Evan Zabel, who was able to get the last out of the 4th inning. And now we've got a pitch too far inside. So Ashton Crank gets hit by an Evan Zabel pitch.
Yeah, and I don't know if STMA just stands too close to the, or stands pretty close to the home base.
Could be a crowd home plate, but hey, the Cardinals have had 3 batters hit by pitches today, so
it's a weird day.
Yeah, 8 batters have now been hit by pitches that have been delivered in this game. Cardinal pitchers have hit 5 Knights batters. Knights pitchers, notably Braden George, has hit 3 Alexandria batters. Lawrence is one of the players who has not been hit by a pitch. He did single last time up. Now he grounds one to second. Nolan Fettig flips to Brody Adelman, and the throw over to first doubles up the batter, Wyatt Lawrence. So nicely turned there by the Alexandria Cardinal infield defense. 4-6-3 on the ground ball double play. Nolan Fettig starts it. And then the middleman is Adelman, and then Griffin Wimmer is the guy who gets the second out at first base, so 2 gone.
Yeah, great job there by Fettig, and that's why he's playing second base. He's getting designated hitted for, but he's just an incredible athlete. Obviously, a dual athlete. Wrestling in the fall, or in the winter, but just a great fielder too.
Yep, and he was the one that started the DP, and I believe he's been able to handle his chances today. Now we've got a ground ball left side. Easton Klimek will make the play here. Throw over to first, scooped out as it's in the dirt, but Griffin Wimmer showing some good glove work there at first. So Evan Zabel faces the minimum number of batters in the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs for St. Michael-Albertville, no hits, no errors, nobody left on board. We'll head to inning number 6 in this elimination bracket game in Class 4A, Section 8. On the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard, it remains St. Michael-Albertville 8, the Alexandria Cardinals 1.
Being locally owned here at the Culvers of Alexandria, Charles Johnson and myself, John Loomis, are very proud to be a part of the community. We enjoy the time we get to spend here, the memories we've made, and we're excited to see you after the game when you need to refuel.
Go Cardinals!
A broken tooth? Fixed in one appointment? Yes, we do that at Dental Health Associates with our CEREC crowns. We'll fix your tooth in one appointment, which means less time off work, less time away from your family, and more convenience for you. You're in and out in one visit.
Better water starts with EcoWater. Get started today and discover EcoWater's products and expertise for the perfect solution. Visit WeFixWaterMN.com with offices in Alexandria, Fergus Falls, Glenwood, and Morris.
A successful win isn't about the score. It's about what you put into the game. If a successful win matters to you on the purchase or sale of your property, hard work matters to me. Todd Whiting, Century 21, 766-2200.
We move to inning number 6 here in St. Michael, Minnesota, as the breeze has definitely picked up. Alexandria getting the chance to bat, down by 7 with potentially 6 outs to go. The Cardinals are going to send up Brody Adelman, Nolan Johnson, and Griffin Wimmer, and that sounds like a good combination to get a rally going, because that was the part of the order that accounted for the Cardinals' run back in the 4th inning. Right now, that's standing up as the lone scorer for Alexandria. Brody Adelman 1 for 1. He's also been hit by a pitch, and he has scored Alexandria's run today. First pitch, a bit out of the strike zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Nolan Johnson is scheduled to bat next, and then Griffin Wimmer to follow. By the way, Mitchell Bartoszewski now in the lineup. I believe he would bat 5th in this half inning if it did get extended out. 1-1 now the count to Brody Adelman. Braden George, the junior right-hander, has a 7-run lead to work with. There's a bouncer that goes foul to the left side, and it's 1-2. Checking out some of the Class 3A Section 8 baseball results. In the winners bracket semifinals, Ricori defeated Fergus Falls Don't know if that got settled in 5 or in 6, but it was 12-2. So Ricori is now 1 win away from the state class 3A baseball tournament, as Brody Adelman will line one out into center field, and he is on with a base hit for the second time today.
Another good swing there from Adelman to start the inning, and last time Alexandria got a leadoff base runner, a leadoff hit, I should say. They did score a run, and so gotta get a couple in here this inning, but a good start.
And Brody Adelman now has 2 of Alexandria's 3 hits in this game. Nolan Johnson will bat. 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch as well. He takes upstairs, ball 1. In the elimination bracket of Section 8 AAA baseball, Wilmer knocked out Little Falls 6-4. And then Wilmer was able to get another win in knockout fashion, defeating the Fergus Falls Otters later in the day. That was a 9-3 win. Now we've got a base hit to right field for Nolan Johnson. Grounds one in the hole, and Alexandria's kicking up its heels a little bit with runners on first and second and nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning.
Another great swing here in Alexandria. They're just attacking early in at-bats, and maybe that's something that they wanted to do, or they should have done earlier, but a great start here, and you can't have a comeback without a couple of hits, so a couple of good ones here.
So the line is starting to form, and let's see if Griffin Wimmer can get on board to keep this line moving. He is yet to be retired in this game, 1 for 1 with an RBI double. He takes upstairs from Braden George, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Wimmer got on board with a base on balls in the second. I believe that's the only walk that George has allowed in today's game. And in that plate appearance, Wimmer was behind in the count 0-2 before drawing the walk. And he takes upstairs. It's 2 balls, no strikes. The Cardinals need some base runners. They've got their first 2 on board. Singles for Brody Adelman and Nolan Johnson. 8-1 St. Michael-Albertville with the lead. We're in the 6th inning. Here's the next pitch, and that's going to be on the outer part of the plate for a strike. And it's 2-1. So on Thursday for the Section 8 AAA Championship at the Municipal Athletic Complex in St. Cloud, Ricori will play Wilmer. Wilmer needs to beat the Spartans twice. Ricori needs 1 win on Thursday to get that Section 8 AAA Championship. Healthy cut here, but no contact, and it is 2-2 now to Wimmer. He would like to get on board to continue this 6th inning uprising. The Cardinals down but not out. Runners at first and second. Brody Adelman, the lead base runner. Nolan Johnson on at first. Next pitch is too far inside. And it's now a full count to Wimmer at 3-2.
Yeah, really inside. Nearly clipped his jersey at least. So almost another bit hit by pitch.
Yep, Griffin Wimmer has not been hit by a pitch. 3 of his teammates have been hit by a pitch. Payoff on the way, and this one's line foul to the right side. That one sailed right in front of us as we're situated along the first base / right field line. Got Alexandria Cardinal fans off to our left and Cardinal fans off to our right as well. Been very supportive of the boys today. Another payoff pitch to Griffin Wimmer from George. And it swung on, and this one's hit to center field. Going back a few steps to make the catch is Grady Johnson. Tagging up at second is Brody Adelman. He'll advance to third. Nolan Johnson holds at first, so 1 away now with runners at the corners.
That was really well struck. I think he was, just hit under the ball a little bit, and otherwise that could have had a chance to be 3 runs.
Yep. Wimmer hit one out into that direction where he got the RBI double in the 4th inning, but it seemed like Grady Johnson did a good job at tracking that ball down. I think that one was a little more airborne off the bat of Wimmer. So Wimmer now 1 for 2 today. Evan Zabel has yet to solve Junior Braden George. 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 called. 3rd strike. He bats with runners at the corners. He'd like to find some outfield grass here to narrow the gap. And George pulls the string and Zabel's way out in front. And it's a ball and a strike. 8-1, St. Michael-Albertville with the lead. The Knights have out-hit the Cardinals in this game 8-4. 3 errors for Alexandria. So far the Knights have played errorless baseball. Now we've got a pitch beaten to the left side and into left field. Base hit for Evan Zabel. That's going to score Brody Adelman, and the Cardinals are on the board here in the top of the 6th inning, now trailing by a score of 8-2. So Zabel's going to collect a run batted in, and Brody Adelman crosses home plate for the 2nd time today. And so hit number 5 brings in Alexandria's 2nd run. 1st and 2nd now for Mitchell Bartoszewski. Bartoszewski with his first plate appearance in this game. First offering is a little bit low. And correct me if I'm wrong, JP, I believe Bartoszewski has come up as a pinch hitter twice in this postseason and has delivered hits both times.
Yeah, he has. I believe once, in Elk River, and then again at home, I believe, too. So hopefully he can do it again here.
Here's a pitch that's in for a strike. First pitch was a ball. He did have a hit against Elk River. I think he was involved in the 6th inning rally against St. Cloud, where the Cardinals did score a run on a double play grounder. But again, he was pivotal in that mini rally last Thursday. Now a healthy cut but no contact, and it's 1-2 to Bartoszewski. He entered the game as a defensive replacement back in the 4th inning. So Mitchell is batting and landing Gus Norling's spot here. Runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 out. 1 in for Alexandria, but the Cardinals still down. It's 8-2. Bartoszewski would like to get on board. Pitch on the way, and it sails upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a good take there by Bartoszewski. Those can be tempting to swing at sometimes, especially with 2 strikes.
So now a number of 2s in play, 2 base runners on. The count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals with 2 outs to play with here in the 6th inning. Now a pitch that's a little bit low. Bartoszewski brought the bat up a little bit, but he did not commit all the way through, so it's ball 3.
Another good job there, just holding back. Noticing it's going down, so great at-bat here from Bartoszewski.
Heck, a base on balls would work as well. Payoff pitch is softly lined to the left side, fielded by the shortstop, and he'll step on second to force out, and then the throw to first is going to be good for the double play. I thought Signs might catch that, but he decided to play it on the short hop. As he was near second base, he forces out Evan Zabel, and then the throw to first gets Bartoszewski. So that will be a 6-6-3 double play, and that is all for the Cardinals in the top of the 6th inning. Alexandria goes with 1 run, 3 hits, no St. Michael-Albertville errors, and 1 runner was left on base. New score after 5.5 innings in this elimination bracket game in the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. It's the St. Michael-Albertville Knights 8, the Alexandria Cardinals 2.
Being locally owned here at the Culvers of Alexandria, Charles Johnson and myself, John Loomis, are very proud to be a part of the community. We enjoy the time we get to spend here, the memories we've made, and we're excited to see you after the game when you need to refuel.
Go Cardinals!
A broken tooth? Fixed in 1 appointment? Yes, we do that at Dental Health Associates with our CEREC crowns. We'll fix your tooth in 1 appointment, which means less time off work, less time away from your family, and more convenience for you. You're in and out in 1 visit.
Better water starts with EcoWater. Get started today and discover EcoWater's products and expertise for the perfect solution. Visit WeFixWaterMN.com with offices in Alexandria, Fergus Falls, Glenwood, and Morris.
A successful win isn't about the score. It's about what you put into the game. If a successful win matters to you on the purchase or sale of your property, hard work matters to me. Todd Whiting, Century 21, 766-2200.
Senior Evan Zabel out on the hill for a second full inning of relief. He has not allowed any runs in his 1 1/3 innings of work. St. Michael-Albertville up by a score of 8-2, and Cale Johnson will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. Johnson, Ryan Kurth, and Talon Signs are the scheduled hitters for St. Michael-Albertville. And Johnson has not been involved in any of the night's rallies in this game. He is 0 for 3. He swings and misses at the first pitch, and it's 1 strike.
Yeah, and Zabel did a great job of, keeping St. Michael-Albertville off the base pass and off the scoreboard back in the last inning to keep this game going, and hopefully can do the same.
Now we've got a pitch that misses the strike zone, not by much, but it's ruled ball 1. Evan Zabel has only needed 16 pitches, including the 2 thrown here in the 6th inning, to get 4 outs. He was helped out by a double play last inning. Here's a pitch that is out of the strike zone, so it's now 2-1 to Cale Johnson. Johnson, Ryan Kurth, and Talon Signs, the top 3 hitters in the night's order. They are scheduled to hit here in the 6th. Here's a pitch fouled off, and it is 2-2. Should St. Michael-Albertville continue to hold the lead and get Alexandria out in the 7th without surrendering that lead, St. Michael-Albertville will go on to play in Cold Spring tomorrow at 4 against the winner of the game between Elk River and Bemidji, which is ongoing right now. Here's a pitch hit to the left side, a long run, and that is going to be a foul ball. So Johnson was trying to go to the opposite field, but fouls it off, so it's still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Let's reintroduce the defensive alignment because it has changed from the start of the game. The battery now includes Evan Zabel on the mound, Sam Wiseman behind the dish, Griffin Wimmer at first base defensively, Nolan Fettig at second, Brody Adelman the shortstop, Easton Klemick at third. Ty Miller is in left field, Mitchell Bartoszewski is in center field, and Connor Anderson is now in right field. And Zabel is able to record a strikeout of Cale Johnson, 1 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. Zabel able to record his first strikeout today. And do we have a pinch hitter? Or?
Number 22, so.
Yep, it is. Oh, no, it is Ryan Kurth. So I thought we had a different name being announced by the public address announcer here, but nope, we're getting Ryan Kurth up for a 4th plate appearance. He is yet to be retired today. 2 for 2 with a hit by pitch. He has scored 3 runs. Now a pitch is low, and that evens the count out at 1 ball, 1 strike. St. Michael-Albertville scored twice in the 1st inning, 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th. Alexandria scored single runs in the 4th and in the 6th. Here's a pitch too far inside to Kurth.
Yeah, and this is the part of the lineup that has really done very well for the Knights and given Alexandria a lot of headaches. So it'd be big time to get this out here.
And we've got a pitch skied in the air, middle infield, playable for the shortstop Brody Adelman, and he'll put it away. Well, JP, you didn't have the jinx there. It's almost like you wished for and you got it.
Yeah, that's a big out right there. Getting soft contact, and now 1 out away here from making it a 7-inning game.
Yep, that's what the Cardinals want to do. If they don't, get the 6 runs necessary, at least they want to have that attempt in the top of the 7th inning. Talon Signs now stepping in, and he's the owner of a 2 for 2 plate performance. And lo and behold, he got nicked by a pitch. He becomes the 6th St. Michael-Albertville batter to reach after getting hit by a pitch in this game.
I'm starting to think there's some animosity between these two teams.
I don't
no, I don't think so either.
There is. I mean, they do play each other, sometimes in summer ball in the Legion, but, we haven't had St. Michael-Albertville on our schedule until this spring for several years.
No, and, Zabel is a big football player, and Alexandria and St. Michael don't really pair up for football.
No, because St. Michael-Albertville's in the big school class, Class 6A, whereas Alexandria is in Class 5A. Now, a while back, St. Michael-Albertville was in Alexandria's class. I think that was about 10 years ago now. A strike here to Tyler Herring, who's 3 for 3 in this game. You might say he's been living up to the mantra of being a cleanup hitter because he's been doing that all game long. 3 runs batted in. Healthy cut here, but no contact, and it's now 0-2.
Might have gone away with a balk there. He kind of had a jerky motion before he threw the pitch, but
yep, he was allowed to go through with it, so 2 strikes here to Tyler Herring. Next pitch on the way, and this one's rolled to the right side. Nolan Fettig's going to flip to second as Talon Signs will be forced out at second base, and that will retire the side. So 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief for senior Evan Zabel in a relief of starter Landon Gasnorle. To the 7th we go on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard in this elimination bracket game in the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. It's the St. Michael-Albertville Knights 8, the Alexandria Cardinals 2.
It's the right time for a getaway. It's the right time for a getaway. Let's get away.
When you come to Fat Daddy's Bar and Grill, you can count on great food, over 30 beers on tap, and a creative drink menu.
Come join us today at Fat Daddy's Bar and Grill in Alexandria.
Good service, good friends, and a great place to eat.
First Western provides the best in customer service.
Professional, friendly, full-service banking is what you can count on at First Western.
First Western, you can bank on us.
Dentistry at the Center knows all about busy schedules, and that's one of the best things about having 3 dentists. We have more appointment times available, so we can see you sooner. So, for dentist appointments to fit your schedule better, come see the friendly folks at Dentistry at the Center.
Last ups for the Alexandria Cardinal baseball team. They've got 3 outs to play with and a deficit of 6. And we will have a pinch hitter as Seth Schmidt has grabbed a bat. He'll be hitting for Easton Klimek to lead off the 7th inning. Easton Klimek at the plate was 0 for 2. First pitch from Braden George is in for a strike. George has gone the distance so far, so if the Knights do continue on, and it's looking like they will unless Alexandria can score 6 or more in the top of the 7th inning, George will be unavailable for use for the remainder of the section baseball tournament if it stays on schedule. 0-2 here to Seth Schmidt. Next pitch is going to be skied in the air, left side of the infield, and it's going to be playable for the shortstop, Signs, who will put it away. So 1 gone here in the 7th inning.
And, you know, Alexandria just a couple things here today, and, you know, they're going to look back and want to make a couple more plays, but I think they've put together another good effort here so far, and, you know, it's especially going back to that St. Cloud game. There's just a lot of things to be proud of here in the postseason.
First pitch is a little bit too far inside. I believe it's ruled ball 1. Yeah, especially against good teams in Class 4A Section 8, you cannot have miscues, and unfortunately the Cardinals flipped the ball around a little bit too much today. That shows with 3 of the 8 St. Michael-Albertville runs being unearned today.
And another thing, I mean, this is the first year that they're in that big class, so, you know, it's just different. I mean, it's just a different scene, and I think a lot of these athletes have seen that in other sports too. The ones that have moved up, you know, in hockey and basketball, and obviously basketball had a great year moving to the state tournament, but it's just different competition. It's just bigger schools, and more kids and a lot more talent.
Yeah, you look at the enrollment in the top 3 grades for Alexandria, right around 1,330. That represents about 2/3 of the St. Michael-Albertville school enrollment, which is about 2,070 in the top 4 grades. 2-2 now to Sam Wiseman as he fouls a pitch off. Next pitch from Braden George is fouled back, and it's still 2-2.
So Alexandria, I mean, just a couple of sports, it's going to take some adjustments, you know, moving up and playing these teams more consistently, you know, getting used to the speed, getting used to the strength and the you know, how big kids are, you know, typically too in every sport. And, you know, maybe they throw harder here in baseball.
Here's a pitch that's a little bit inside to Sam Wiseman, and that's going to fill the count out at 3-2. And again, we'll probably know much more once we get to next spring, but is Alexandria being in Class 4A a 2-year situation, or is it going to be a scenario that as we get a called third strike of Sam Wiseman and there are 2 gone? I mean, we will know by next spring, you know, whether Alexandria is going to be in the big school class for a lot of their sports. That determination is made every 2 years and normally is revealed in April of the odd-numbered year. So we'll find out if indeed Alexandria's semi-permanent home will be Class 4A Section 8 for baseball. Here's a grounder right side off the bat of Ty Miller, and the flip by the second baseman Tyler Herring over to first is going to retire Miller, and Braden George gets a complete game victory to keep St. Michael-Albertville alive in the Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament. The Alexandria Cardinals go up and down in order in the top of the 7th inning, and this one has gone final in St. Michael, Minnesota. The Cardinals, in their first appearance in Class 4A Section 8, go 1-2, falling in St. Michael today by a final score of 8-2. The Knights eliminate Alexandria. As the top seed, St. Michael-Albertville raises its record to 16-9 on the year. Alexandria ends with a final record of 13 wins and 11 defeats. So that's going to do it for our play-by-play. For our studio engineer back at KXRA in Alexandria, Steve D. We'll combine the top 7th inning break with the bottom 7th inning break, so that means we're about 3 minutes away from getting rolling with our post-game show presented to you by Juettner Motors of Alexandria after we enjoy these messages on KXRA Radio and the Voice of Alexandria YouTube channel.
When you want your closing to go as smooth as possible, ask for Integrity Title. We may be a bit obsessed about our jobs and the details that go into it, but that's what makes us such a good choice for your real estate closing. Ask for Integrity Title, the title closing geeks.
Hi, I'm Mark Lee from Mark Lee Excavating and Asphalt and Paving. I'm looking for experienced, hardworking people to join my company. When you work for us, you'll be home every night, no overnight hotels. Give me a call and visit my website because we're hiring and we want to talk to you about your next career with us.
Life can sometimes feel like you're navigating through construction. You hit a detour, run out of gas, or you're going the wrong way on a one-way street. But Lakeland Mental Health Center is here to help you get back to the right path. Visit lmhc.org. Help today for a better tomorrow.
Hi, this is Bob with Northside Collision Center. Having your vehicle's collision repair fixed can be a hassle and inconvenient. That's why people call us at Northside Collision Center.
763-3224.
Northside Collision.
What's your number?
We drove 25 miles to get a great deal at Quality Toyota.
I drove 7 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
From your first home to a growing family, life keeps moving. Hi, I'm Sarah Iverson with State Farm Insurance. Every change means something new to protect. Let's start a conversation today about your peace of mind, because like a good neighbor, Sarah Iverson will be there.
Who do you turn to if you or a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis?
We're here. Region 4 South Mobile Crisis Team will come to you by calling 701-364-0431.
The Tradesman Construction has built a rich history as being the premier, most referred, full-service general contractor in the area. They are a proud supporter of all Alexandria Cardinal teams. Find them online at tradesmanconstruction.com.
Juettner Motors, your best price dealer. Make it Juettner Motors, your best price dealer.
Hi, I'm Dr. Emma.
And I'm Dr. AJ. We're the dentists at the Alexandria Dental Clinic, where advanced care meets a family-first approach.
From cosmetic dentistry and Invisalign to restorative work and pediatric care.
Alexandria Dental Clinic, your smile's new best friend. Carlson Music Center, downtown Alexandria. Yamaha pianos and new unused equipment. Lessons and instruction. Learn from the best. Piano and voice to guitar and violin. Carlson Music Center for all your musical needs in Alexandria.
I'm a nurse at heart. I went into this to take care of other people.
What we say as nurses and as teammates matters here.
Come on over, you'll love it. You will get to experience so many things.
The season comes to an end on the second day of June for the Alexandria varsity baseball team. The Cardinals, in their first appearance in Class 4A Section 8, go 1-2. They were able to win by staving off elimination last week in walk-off fashion against the St. Cloud Crush. But today, top-seeded St. Michael-Albertville jumped on top with some early offense, a 2-spot in the first inning, then 3 more in the bottom of the third inning, and it was pretty much smooth sailing from there as Braden George kept Alexandria in check for the most part. The Cardinals did get to him for a couple of runs in today's game, single tallies in the 4th and 6th innings, but the Knights get the victory by a final score of 8-2. Along with JP Boline, I am D-Mac, Dave McClurg, and we welcome you to our Juettner Motors postgame report. It'll turn out to be our final Juettner Motors postgame report for the 2025-26 school year. And JP, I think this was a game we knew that St. Michael-Albertville, a strong baseball team. Historically, they're very good when it comes to the postseason. I kind of liken them to being Rasputin. They're tough to knock out. They've shown it year after year. You see the 2 state championship banners that they've got on their outfield walls. Those occurred a little more than a decade ago and everything. But, unfortunately for Alexandria, the early deficit just proved to be too much to overcome. Maybe that first inning was kind of a harbinger of what we would see when Alexandria would get back-to-back runners on after getting players hit by pitches, but a double play helps out the St. Michael-Albertville pitcher, Braden George. But then 3 straight batters reached for the Knights, and unfortunately the Cardinals were playing from behind the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because, like you said, they did threaten early in the game, with a couple of base runners. St. Michael made a couple of mistakes pitching-wise, and Alexandria just couldn't capitalize on those opportunities. And it's kind of what's been happening here in the postseason a couple times against Elk River, and then almost against St. Cloud as well, getting some base runners on and just not being able to get them home until late. But it's it comes down to Alexandria just had to deal with a lot of adversity throughout the year. You lost arguably your best player, weeks after throwing a perfect game and having incredible hitting performances as well in Jackson Waltzing, and then a great infielder and good hitter there in Iverson, Zach Iverson as well. So, a couple of injuries to starters, and I know I'm missing one as well, but
Brom Peterson.
Brom Peterson, another great fielder and hitter. So, that's not an excuse, but it is, it's difficult for teams to, get past the starters losing, plate appearances and not playing. But I think players stepped up and they played good. A lot of underclassmen. Look at Ty Miller, who's got a bright future here in the baseball team, also on the basketball team as well. So a bright future here in Alexandria. And you just look at that and you move forward here into the next season, and you build and you grow and get used to playing in the high class.
St. Michael-Albertville, their number 2, number 3, and number 4 hitters were excellent. They did tons of damage against Landon Guest Norling in this game. I think Ryan Kurth didn't get retired for the first time until the 6th inning. Tyler Herring didn't get retired for the first time until the 6th inning. And, it seemed like in each one of those rallies where St. Michael-Albertville put multiple runs up on the board, Kurth, Signs, and Herring were instrumental in each of those rallies.
Absolutely. And it starts a lot of times with, allowing a free base runner, a couple of walks there added to the threat, but it was just really good hitting. I mean, like you said, Herring and Signs, they hit the ball hard, they hit the ball well early in the counts, and, when they had to work the counts, they did really well, and they just took advantage of mistakes that Alexandria made, and that's what good teams are going to do, and that's why they're the number 1 team here in this difficult section. And it looks like that St. Michael is going to, have a rematch potentially with Moorhead, as Moorhead's leading late into that game. But, it's just a really good team, and, it's hard to beat really good teams. They got a couple of players that hit the ball well, and they showed that in the middle of the lineup.
Yeah, St. Michael-Albertville now 1-0 when faced with elimination in this Class 4A Section 8 baseball tournament as they prevail in their last true home game of the season. Any game or games that the Knights play from this point forward will be at the neutral site, that being Springer's Park in Cold Spring. St. Michael-Albertville finishes with 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 4 runners left on base. Alexandria finished with 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors, and the Cardinals stranded 5. Alexandria starting pitcher Landon Guest Norling took the defeat. He went the first 3 2/3 innings today, as he did not get out of the 4th. He yielded the 8 runs to the Knights. 5 of those ended up being earned. Evan Zabel came on through 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief in his last high school baseball appearance of his career. Alexandria with the defeat falls to 13-11. That will be the final record for the Cardinals in 2026. And St. Michael-Albertville now at 16-9. This is our post-game report presented to you by Juettner Motors in Alexandria. We're going to take one more timeout. We'll be back with a few final comments. We'll announce our Culver's play of the game. It might turn out to be player of the game because one individual did quite well today. And we'll share that info with you when we return to St. Michael for more of our Juettner Motors post-game report after this timeout on KXRA Radio and on the Voice of Alexandria YouTube channel.
Trum Drug has things in every aisle that you won't find anywhere else, and many of them are made right here in Minnesota. Stop in and grab something for yourself, a friend, or family. Trum Drug, locally owned, locally loved.
I just get a great satisfaction when I hear the relief in a customer's voice that they've been helped. They always feel it's an inconvenience when they call us. It's like, it's never an inconvenience. We love helping our customers.
At Viking Bank, we're invested in your journey.
I see generations who are passionate about what they did. I hope that I can leave a legacy of compassion for people and love for family and friends.
I'm a nurse at heart. I went into this to take care of other people.
What we say as nurses and as teammates matters here.
Come on over, you'll love it. You will get to experience so many things and help many people.
If you haven't experienced all new Woodies, you're missing out on the best clean in town.
We installed all new equipment and high suction vacuum service,
but kept our personalized touch with our pre-wash and hand drying service.
Get your shine on
at Woody's Car Wash in the heart of downtown Alexandria.
Enjoy life at the lake and work for a growing company that offers rewarding careers and cares about your well-being. Agard, we build cool machines and are hiring for multiple positions across the organization. Plus, no-cost health benefits for you and your family.
Get great service at Alexandria Motors. Serving your family for generations and generations to come. Stop in for a great deal on your next vehicle. Alexandria Motors. One low price, plain and simple, always.
At ALP Utilities, we're proud to be a community-owned public power and water utility. That means local decisions, reliable service, and reinvesting in Alexandria. From classrooms to sidelines, We're proud to be a part of the moments that bring our community together.
There is a man, an insurance man, located in the birthplace of America, where he is committed to helping you find the best coverage for your needs.
Welcome. I'm Keith. When you think of insurance, think of Bill Marks, where we do the shopping for you.
Carlson Music Center, downtown Alexandria. Yamaha pianos and new unused equipment. Lessons and instruction. Learn from the best, piano and voice to guitar and violin. Carlson Music Center, for all your musical needs in Alexandria.
The season comes to an end for the Alexandria Cardinal baseball team. 8-2, St. Michael-Albertville with the victory, and the Knights will now go on to play Elk River in an elimination bracket semifinal game tomorrow in Cold Spring. That's because the Elks knocked out Bemidji today by a final score of 4-0. I believe St. Michael-Albertville won the head-to-head meeting against Elk River during the regular season. So that's the 1 seed versus the 3 seed in an elimination bracket semifinal tomorrow. And then last word we had was Moorhead leading at Monticello 6-1. If the Spuds go on to win that game, and are you going to give an update here, JP? Or?
Yeah, it is final, so 6-1. Spuds winning again.
So Moorhead now needs 1 win on Thursday at Springers Park to repeat as Class 4A Section 8 baseball champions. For Monticello, the Magic are now going to need to get 3 wins. They would have to beat the survivor of Elk River and St. Michael-Albertville tomorrow at Springers Park. The Elks and the Knights will play at 4 o'clock. Losing team goes home. Winner stays around to play Monticello in the elimination bracket final at 7 tomorrow night. That's assuming weather doesn't back things up. And then Moorhead sitting in the catbird seat, if you will. On Thursday, the Spuds need 1 win to get the section championship, and whoever opposes Moorhead on Thursday will need to beat the Spuds 2 times. So Moorhead now 3-0 in this section tournament after getting a road victory. So the Spuds have not been deterred of being on the road. Moorhead will only get 1 true home game in this section tournament as a number 4 seed, as they've now gotten a couple of wins. They don't mind coming to Wright County because they got a win here against the Knights on Thursday last week, and then about 9 miles to the west, they got a win in Monticello today.
True, yeah, and we'll see where they end up at the end of this. Well, I guess they're going to be in Cold Spring, but yeah, I mean, Moorhead, just keeps on going. It was a section where it seemed like anybody could come out of this. Obviously, St. Michael-Albertville has the number 1 seed. They've had an incredible year, but Bemidji beat them during the season too, so they had a chance to get through. Elk River had a great team too, so they're keeping on trucking, and Moorhead and Monticello, very good teams in their own rights as well. So it's going to be an interesting couple of games here in this section.
It is interesting to note because now we've had 4 teams eliminated, and ironically it's all 4 of the lowest seeded teams because Alexandria, the 6th seed, and Bemidji, the number 5 seed, left the tournament today, and then St. Cloud and Brainerd were knocked out last week as the 7 and 8 seeds respectively. So in essence, we still have the top 4 around, but again, Moorhead, as the lowest of those 4 seeds, is in the best possible position right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've been able to, as you mentioned, to do it on their own. That's a big part because everybody's gonna be on the road now. So just trying to keep winning there and get a little bit of a break while other teams trying to keep their seasons alive with Elk River and St. Michael-Albertville. So it's really going to be interesting. I think, the seeding really was, for the most part, really correct, other than, Moorhead being the lower seed now. But pretty good job there in whole.
Before we wrap up and give some final comments, we're going to make note of the Culver's play of the game. And I think we're going to cite a play error, as you and I were discussing during one of the breaks here. Brody Adelman, it would turn out to be his final game in a Alexandria Cardinal uniform. I know that he'll be playing Summer Legion ball and everything, but what a good performance. He was the igniter. I think he got leadoff base hits in each of his last 2 plate appearances. He did not get retired in his last game of his high school career, and I thought really, Brody was very instrumental in that 7th inning rally against St. Cloud last week, and you and I were on hand when he dropped that pop-up against Elk River that allowed a run to score in the 3-0 victory. But I kind of felt that Brody was going to do some good things before his postseason was done, and sure enough, he did it. And I think his performance in today's game is meritorious of the Culver's play of the game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what great athletes do, and they make a mistake, and they're not used to making mistakes. They come back better than ever, and that's exactly what he did. In today, and as you mentioned in St. Cloud as well. Just a couple of leadoff hits here today too that played a big role in getting a couple of runs. So just a really great effort there from Brody.
So the season for high school baseball comes to an end for the Alexandria Cardinals. 13-11 will be the final record. Alexandria finishing in the top portion of the Central Lakes Conference. I thought, as you've kind of referenced periodically, this team overcame some obstacles and guys getting knocked out of the lineup. It's amazing. In about a 7 or 8 day span, I think Alexandria lost 3 players from, its starting lineup, basically, with Jackson Waltzing, Brom Peterson, and Zach Iverson as well. But yet they still were able to overcome that. And, I thought a very good showing for this Alexandria baseball team this spring.
Absolutely. I mean, they were so much fun to watch. I mean, they went undefeated when we were when we did games during the regular season, and they put together a really great effort in the postseason too, with considering everything that they've gone through, and losing a couple of very, very good players. So it was a fun team to watch, and I look forward to watching them grow a little bit here in the big section too, or the big class, and it's going to be fun. But this was a fun senior class and a fun 2025.
Yeah, no doubt about, the class of 2026, which had commencement last Friday night. So many great memories across the sporting landscape, the fine arts landscape, and everything like that. But this roster is definitely going to have a turnover. More than half of this varsity team moves on now. So they'll rely on people. Jackson Waltzing's going to be back later on in the summer, and he'll be back for his senior year next year. They'll look to him and Connor Anderson and Brom Peterson and some others for leadership. Ty Miller's still going to be an underclassman next year. So it will be exciting, what the Cardinal baseball team of 2027 is going to provide for us, about 10 months down the line.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next sports season already. I know it's the last game here of our broadcast season, but it's going to be a fun 2026-27.
Very good. JP, great to have you along for our broadcast today, not only doing the video work for the Voice of Alexandria YouTube channel, but commentating with you. It's been a blast. Thanks so much for everything, and we'll reunite and get together for an exciting fall sports season about 3 months down the line.
I'm excited for it. Thank you, D-Mac.
That is JP Boline, my broadcast partner for our Alexandria Cardinal baseball and softball coverage all throughout the spring of 2026. Thanks to all of the boosters of our Alexandria Cardinal sports coverage who have helped to bring you our game play-by-play all throughout the 2025-26 school year. This puts a cap on our game and event schedule. Again, really running the gamut. Girls swimming, volleyball, soccer, and football in the fall. Boys swimming, wrestling, gymnastics, basketball and hockey during the winter, and then softball and baseball in the spring season. Again, to each one of our boosters of Cardinal sports programming, we thank you for getting involved, and we appreciate so much your investment in bringing the good things out about Alexandria Cardinal activities to not only the listeners of KXRA Radio, but to viewers on our YouTube channel. Steve D has been our KXRA radio studio engineer back at Master Control. And along with JP Boline, I am D-Mac Dave McClurg. Thanks so much for tuning in. Congratulations to the Alexandria Cardinal baseball team on a fine 2026 spring season. Plus 500 record for the number 6 seed in Section 8 of Class 4A. Not a bad deal whatsoever. 13-11 will be Alexandria's final record after St. Michael-Albertville defeats the Cardinals by a score of 8-2. So long from St. Michael, Minnesota.